Hi, welcome to Can We Play Already? Tonight we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. This campaign is going to have its first episode ever tonight, and it's called The Heroes of Valto's Crossing. We have 4 awesome adventurers that are ready to see what terrible dangers the desert has in store for them, and to see if their characters survive in this hard mode, kind of hardcore D&D game that we're going to try. And I'm excited for you to meet everyone. I'm going to go around the table. I'm Julian. You're going to be your dungeon master today, your game master. I'm going to be the one killing everybody. And we'll start on my left with Jace. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're playing.
All right. Hello, I'm Jace. I'm playing an Aarakocra sorcerer named Tengil. He's a bird person. He wanders the desert and is a cartographer and stellar cartographer and is just trying to find meaning in life. Yeah.
Oh. Hi, I'm Brianna. I'm playing a Tabaxi rogue named Kanaima, and he's a pirate, sailor, and he dabbles.
My name's Josh. I'm going to be playing Andrew Goodbarrel, who is a cleric halfling who has had a bit of a tough life, but is doing her best to make that money and support her family.
I'm John. I'm going to be playing Well-Tide, a human druid that grew up on the streets and basically found that she had some powers and got adopted into the water bearer druids of Valto's Crossing. That's the place, yeah. And she's, just likes to have fun and learn and hang out with her friends.
Wonderful. All right, I'm excited to get going. I want to start this adventure in the Alcove. The Alcove is a little bit of a rundown tavern on the edge of town in Valto's Crossing, which is like a decent-sized trade hub in this desert setting. The Alcove doubles as kind of a home base or a headquarters for a small adventurers guild that's not very well trusted by the townsfolk because of the collateral damage they can provide. But you've all found yourself here because you all have unique skill sets that make you very good adventurers. You have the right tools for the job. It's paying work. You can find some interesting things out in the desert taking on jobs. You've worked together once or twice probably, and there's a few other adventurers that take jobs here once in a while too that you've seen. Your contact here is Ryza. She is a battle-hardened adventurer of her own that's retired some time ago. Now she runs the tavern herself, and she finds odd jobs and rumors for aspiring adventurers. So she's a good contact here for just finding work, finding rumors, finding out what's happening in the town. I'm going to say it's the early afternoon. It's a slow day. You've come to relax, find work, hear rumors and stuff. How do you unwind? I want to know a little bit about you. It can be something very small, but you're in this little rundown tavern. There's not many patrons here right now. Just 1 or 2 regulars that are here on a regular basis. We'll start with you, Jason. Go around.
So is the tavern fully indoors? Is there a patio? Gotta have room to stretch my wings.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say there's a front area with a table or 2 as well. That's it's not a huge patio, but they've set up a couple tables out front on the street.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, yeah. So I am out there, and I'm going to be sitting with a little notebook, leather-bound thing. And just looking up at the sky and sketching out it's nighttime, right?
No, absolutely not. I said it's early afternoon.
Early afternoon.
It's a bright sunny day. It's a kind of thick heat to the air today. There's not much wind at all. It's kind of just this it's very usual for this time of year. Just this kind of oppressive warm weather that we're all hoping for right now in Canada. Okay.
So anyone who walks by or sees me sees a very large, handsome bird gentleman who sitting and poring over some beautiful drawn maps of the stars that he did with his own wonderful talent. And once in a while, if you stare at him long enough, you'll catch him like pecking at his own fur or feathers to like get a bug or like an itch or something like that. Just sort of back and forth between very prim and proper and very animalistic.
I have a vital question. Is he handsome to other Aarakocra skyfolk, or is he handsome to all people?
All people.
Okay, good.
He's like gleaming golden eagle, brilliant
He's
feathers.
a golden boy.
Yeah, he's got like piercing eyes, like beautifully shaped beak. Like this bird is gorgeous.
Oh, right.
Huge wingspan. It's like, yeah, you've never seen a bird like
It's
this.
the size of a griffin.
Yes, a humanoid griffin.
Fantastic. How does Kanaima fill their time when they're bored on a lazy afternoon in the heat?
Well, right now, he's probably sitting on the patio as well, and like going and just like knocking people's glasses off of tables. Yeah. And then like every so often, like he's gonna try to just lie across Tangil's sketchbook.
No.
Like while he's trying to work. You know? Just, like,
Okay, yeah, already, I love
you
this.
don't like this? You don't like it?
Your fur is getting in my binding.
Nah, this is the spot.
Fantastic.
You know my people used to eat your kind.
Yeah, well, cats eat birds too, so like whatever.
I'd like to see you try.
I could try.
Already, this is a fantastic relationship. What does Andrew find themselves doing here?
Is there like a job board or anything like that? Or is
Yeah,
there-
I'm gonna say there are some like requests from villagers on a bit of like a bulletin or cork board that they have up. It's like real lame stuff right now. Like it's not anything really great.
Okay.
It's more like farm work and stuff. And
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Andrea's like sort of seated near the cork board. She's like tan halfling woman, like reddish brown hair, and she wears sort of a scarf around her head, kind of like wrapped like a hood. And she's got like a little notebook, and she is writing in it, sort of looking up at the job board regularly, and then like making like a yeah, okay. And then just like, it's like making little notes on it, like on this. And if our camera was to turn to see this this like notebook, it's got this sort of elaborate ledger, and she seems to be making some sort of like mathematical calculations based off like job board, like potential monies offered versus like she's trying to figure out the
Budgeting.
Exactly, feasibility of jobs.
potential income for
Yeah.
risk assessment.
Yeah, and she's thinking real hard. She's like looking at it and going like,
She should get into insurance.
well, as long as it's making money, that's all that really matters right now.
I like that.
Yeah.
How does Valtide relax?
Where is the biggest commotion in this? Like most people chatting.
I say it's pretty dead right now. Rise is at the bar, and she's chatting with. It's actually rare to see a lot of Aarakocra in Valto's Crossing. They tend to keep to themselves. They're a little bit of outsiders. They don't use money, so they don't really get along with like mercantile cities and stuff. But anyways, there is one Aarakocra who lives in Valto's Crossing that you all know very well. She is a wizened old woman named Nana, and she is she frequents the bar quite often. She's here almost every day. You're pretty sure she's completely blind, and she looks like she is well past the lifespan of a normal Aarakocra. She's very wiry. She's missing some feathers, and she's has a very she's a great sense of humor. She's always telling long stories that go nowhere. And right now, Riza's wrapped up in one of them, listening to her spin some tale.
Oh, I'm definitely listening to that too.
Of course.
Socializing anywhere I can. There's a story, just like, oh, tell me more. What happened next? Like, yeah.
Absolutely, Nana finds you like very endearing and likes that you spend time listening to her stories. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let me see if there's a story that she's telling you right now. I'm rolling stuff. This isn't
You have a
good.
table for stories?
She's telling you this story, and it's like a friend of a friend of a friend of hers was once an adventurer, and she was going out into the desert, into a certain area of the desert, particularly like there's a lot of like scrubland and different like high top areas in this place, but there is like one absolute like just vast desert that seems almost endless. It's called the Sands of Pavana, and she's talking about how this adventurer was traveling out there and got lured into a beautiful palace in the middle of the desert, and it was like more beautiful than anything she'd ever seen. And
Wait, more beautiful than you?
Oh, her voice like crackles as she laughs at you. And she tells about how when she finally got seated and she was eating on this delicious food and she was enjoying herself so much, the illusion faded and she saw that she was in a ruin surrounded by monsters and barely escaped with her life. And it's just like this is far-fetched tale of the desert and its dangers and stuff.
That is so spooky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Where was this?
Yeah, it's one of those tales that has that like there's something true about it. It might not all be true. It seems very fanciful, but yeah, it's very interesting.
I believe it. Like, totally. I'm like, okay, we got to be careful. If we go out there and see a very fancy palace, might be ruins with monsters in it. Just
You can never be too
keep an eye
careful.
out. Yeah.
All of you are interrupted by a scream from a building nearby. It's about 4 buildings up the street. It's someone's house. You just hear a woman scream, and you hear a crowd gathering, and they're all like, everyone stop what they're doing, and they're peering in this house. It's got like, the door is swung open, you can see, but you can't really see much more because it's down the street a bit. When you approach, I'm assuming it gets your attention and gets you riled up, so you go look. There's a few guards from the city that have come over and looked at things. And when you get a peek through the crowd into the door, you see a body lying on the floor in a dark room. He's wearing the robes of a scholar, and he's on the floor dead in a pool of his own blood. And it looks like one of his housekeepers walked in this morning or this afternoon and found him like this. And the guards are saying, everyone back, there's nothing to see here, nothing to see. Yeah, it looks really dire.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
Yo, that guy is having a real bad day.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, more like past tense.
The city guard recognizes you from the Adventurers Guild. And I don't know, one of them's a little friendlier with you. We're going to name them right now. Yeah, you know someone named Vic. He's a really young guard. He's a human. He must be like really early 20s still. If not even younger. One of those people who's just like too thin for his own uniform. The other guards kind of give you those sidelong glances of not really trusting you because, you take the law into your own hands too much. But Vic is excited to see you and he's like, did you hear what happened? There's been a murder.
A murder?
Whoa, Vic, my man, tell me what's going on.
He's really shocked. He's like, we just got here. We just found out right now, like it's like we're trying to clear the area. But there hasn't been a murder in this town for years. This is huge.
Who would do such a thing?
Murderer.
Murderers in our town?
One of the other officers you see is coming out of the room, and he's got a scrap of a sash that looks like it's patterned with red and white stripes, and you recognize that it belongs to a gang of outlaws that are really the only gang of outlaws that are nearby, called the Ivory Blades. And it's what they traditionally wear as like head wraps or around their waists. And he found it like in plain view. It's a sizable chunk of it. And that's what you notice as they're doing all of this.
Where did this come from? Like, is this from our poor fellow on the floor, or?
Vic is like, well, it looks like, my feeling is we have our first suspects. But how'd they be so brazen to kill someone inside the town when the guard's here? Like, they might still be in the city themselves. It's really odd for someone to
Yeah,
be that brave.
it doesn't seem totally out of character for them, but I mean, you know, we haven't had something that bad happen in a while here. Why would they come and do this now?
I mean, who can say? It's really like in broad, like who knows when it actually happened? Like if you see he looks like he's been there a while. It doesn't look like this just happened. It looks like this is just when somebody found him. Maybe he had enemies. Maybe he made the wrong choices. Maybe he tried to rip someone off and bit off more than he could chew. Another guard kind of walks up to Vic and he's like, "Hey, stop telling these commoners what all about our case. Like we want to keep this under wraps." And he's like, kind of like, "Vic, you're blabbing too much."
We can help.
Just to clarify, so this individual, he looked like he was an older gentleman.
Yeah, he looked like he was definitely like late middle age to older. He's definitely wearing robes. Like he doesn't look like he looks like a scholar. He doesn't look like a merchant or a worker. And in the house through the door, you can see kind of rows of books everywhere and like tables laid out with some like different weird arcane stuff on them.
In a glance at the house, does it look like he was wealthier or sort of living? Yeah, what sort of level of affluence?
It doesn't look like it's a house that has fancy furnishings. The tables, the chairs, everything in it, the shelves are fairly standard.
But then it must have been suicide.
But
I just broke character.
But the all the objects in it are very interesting. They look like almost treasures. They don't look. Not all of them look worthwhile or valuable, but they look like different artifacts that have been gathered from the different ruins around Valto's Crossing or different areas. He may have paid a handsome sum for some of them, or he may have hired people to find them, or just maybe he had found them himself and collected them.
Maybe he had something they wanted.
Does anything look like
Anything
turned
missing?
upside down, like they've like rummaged through the place, or?
I think if you want to get in the house and really see, you'll have to convince one of the guards to let you.
Hey, Vic, can we, like get a little look-see? Like just a little bit?
A much broader and a more adult guard pushes Vic aside, kind of, and says, like, "What do you want in that? What do you want in there for? Are you part of this, or should we suspect you as well?
No,
you
we're
covering
just
up your
trying to
tracks."
Just trying to help. Just want to see what's up,
Maybe we can help.
doing my due diligence as a citizen of the world.
I love this. You're gonna roll. You can definitely roll. It sounds like you're persuading them. Charisma persuasion check.
Okay. Oh God, what is that?
12.
12 plus 1.
Are you proficient?
Yeah. In
Persuasion.
No, I'm not.
So +1, so 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vic kind of like pleads your case for you. He's like, "You can trust these guys. I know them. They're cool. Don't worry." And the guard looks at him and he looks at you and he's like, "You've got like 2 minutes to get in there and check it out. And then I have to close this place off for the investigation."
Sick things. Thanks, buddy.
So yeah, you get in. There's definitely I'd say it's a small home. There's a ladder up to a kind of loft second floor with a bed on it, where it looks like he sleeps. And the bottom floor has a small stove and a table and chairs for sitting and eating. And it's lined with shelves with these different oddities. And you can see different books lining the walls too, and just different displays for different weird ancient antiques.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'm going to investigate the body.
Of course. I'm guessing you don't touch it.
No.
All right.
Can I help him investigate?
Yeah, the two of you working together on your plans. All right.
I've got medical knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also proficient in medicine.
Okay, we're gonna use this cool help rule that I really like. So you get advantage with it. It's going to be investigation. Oh, you have proficiency with medicine too, right?
Yeah.
So what are you looking at then? The wounds and how it was like, how it was attacked?
Yeah, this is more of an autopsy than a...
So it'll be an intelligence roll, and you can use your proficiency. You're going to roll a d20 as well, the second one for his help.
Ooh.
So you roll first.
And whichever one's higher, I'll use. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, well, that's yours.
All right.
So what's your intelligence? Plus 0?
Yeah.
So you're getting a 12.
Okay.
You get basic level stuff. It definitely looks like it was a stab wound that got him. There's 3 stab wounds in his chest. And he looks disheveled, like maybe there was a struggle or something like that. But it looks like a regular dagger kind of did this, like nothing too brutal, like a sword or anything. And yeah, that's all you kind of get from it. And then, of course, there was the scrap of fabric they found that is like a kind of calling card of the ivory blades. So that's what you get out of that. What do the other 2 of you want to do?
I'm going to look around to see if it looks like there is something that's missing or stuff that's turned over a lot in an area.
Yeah, of course. Make an intelligence roll, and you can add investigation if you're
gonna help
proficient.
with that. 'cause-
Yeah?
Yeah.
I
I'm
do
also
not
gonna
have
look around.
proficiency. in
What's your? Are you in proficient in intelligence or investigation? Sorry.
Investigation? No, I'm not. But
Okay. So yeah, each of you roll a d20, and it'll be -1.
All right.
You're not the best cops in the world.
Okay.
Oof.
Is that a
10.
9? Better than 3.
Okay, good. So it's a 9. That's really close. So I want to kind of give you a success at a cost here.
Okay.
Stub toe. Yeah.
Give me a second here. Is there anything that you could really... Yeah, you're looking, it takes a little too long. As you're looking around, you're not really seeing anything out of the ordinary. There's small totems, there's there's a gold cup and like a few gemstones, and they're like kind of the most valuable things, but there's also just like different carved objects and stuff like that. Just different, some of it's like pseudo-religious you recognize, but none of it's like particularly like gives you any hunches or anything. The guards come in and they're like, all right, I told you had a couple minutes, that's it, we're closing this place off. And as you start to leave, you see a book left out that you kind of missed before. And you see that it looks like it's been, like a page has been ripped out of it, like half ripped, and there's a page like kind of half sticking out of it. You go for it, and you get a really quick glance at it. It's a book about, looks like just places like ruins and local old temples and places and towers and ruins in the area. It's like kind of an adventurer's guide. And the page torn out, you just see that it references a tower of some kind when you get a look at it. But you can't see what tower it is or anything more specific before the guard's like, hey, I said we're done, and grabs the book from you, and you're on your way out.
Before we leave, could I talk to Vic quickly?
Yeah.
Vic.
Even outside the house, you can, yeah.
Vic, I'm just curious. What do we know about this guy? This person living here. Did he have any relatives or anything like that? Was he known around town or anything?
Well, all I know is he lived alone. I've heard some things about him. He had a housekeeper that came once every couple of days to help him clean up the place because he couldn't bother himself. He was a scholar. He liked to collect different oddities and stuff. He liked investigating all the kind of ruins and old myths of the local area. He's kind of an expert in it, expert in different lore and different like ancient myths and different like treasures that are hidden in the desert. So I don't know. It might be that he was trying to like sell something he shouldn't have, or maybe he found something he shouldn't have. Maybe he stole one of these treasures from these bandits. Who knows? But he was kind of a treasure collector and historian and scholar. And he kept to himself mostly.
He did have a lot of stuff in there. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he hang out with bandits much?
I mean, I don't know much about him. He kept to himself. I wouldn't think the guy would. He doesn't look very strong or different. He doesn't look like the kind of guy. Like, he looks like the kind of guy that would be running from bandits, as soon as he saw them. But
Yeah, what's this guy's name again? I just hate referring to him as the guy.
Yeah, let's give him a name.
You can call him the dead guy.
Yeah, I guess that's a little more specific.
Yeah.
It's just a touch, not like personal enough, you know.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna bury this guy? You know.
I mean, no,
Does he have any
right?
family?
I don't
No.
want to bury anyone.
Dead guy.
Well, maybe not us per se, but
This guy's name was Pavlin.
Pavlin.
Yeah. Not many people knew him too well. Like, he didn't go out much. He kept to himself.
The name sounds familiar. Maybe
kind of like
Nana
Madonna.
talked about him.
Everyone has one name in this campaign. Get used to it.
Who was the housekeeper?
She is hysterical. She is crying nearby. A couple guards are trying to console her, and even some village people. And she is just like mortified by what she saw. You don't recognize her. She doesn't look like she's really available to talk to at the moment. And the guards are kind of like now like trying to get you on your way.
I'm gonna go see if I can comfort the housekeeper.
Yeah, of course.
Just like go and like pat her on the back and like it's okay.
I like that. She seems to like be slowly getting her stuff back together, but it's hard. She's still having some sobbing fits. She'll try and say something, and then she cries again, and she can't handle it, and she's just like
okay, let it
horrified by what it is.
Okay, let it out. It's a bad thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna
ready.
like hold her hands and just be like, touch my beans. They're very soothing.
Oh, great.
They're pretty soothing. It's gonna be okay. Yeah.
She's thankful for your help. She kind of wants to go home if you don't have anything else to bother her about.
Do you need someone to help walk you home? Would you feel better if I walk home with you?
She one of the people from the crowd kind of comes over and she's like, "It's okay. I'm her sister. I'm going to take her home. Like, I've got her. We'll be okay. But thank you for your kindness."
No problem. Anytime. If you need any help from us, you can come over to
The alcove.
the alcove right over there. I'm well tied. You can ask for me. I'm a druid here, so you need any like wisdom or guidance, come by. If you need to talk about this event again later, I'm always available. As long as I haven't been sent out to do something, then I'll get back as soon as I can.
Same for me. If you want to touch my soothing beans again.
They're very soothing.
Yeah.
Andrew's kind of looking around and sort of tapping her toe impatiently. She doesn't really know why we're lingering anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, it's quite the awful mystery. When you gather yourselves back at the alcove to kind of discuss things, Ryza overhears you talking and it joins you for an ale in the afternoon while you discuss what you saw, and she asks you all the details of it if you're willing to tell.
Does she approach from an angle I can see her?
Yes.
Okay,
Why? Because if she doesn't, you don't notice her and you're scared?
maybe.
Okay. I'd say she does. She knows you very well.
Okay,
She's used to Aarakocra.
right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, she's like, the only thing I find that really weird is how sloppy it is that they left a huge chunk of their sash at the murder scene.
It doesn't.
Because like, it's not like they had, like, obviously he's been there a while, so they snuck out pretty well, and like, why would you leave it if you had time
Maybe
to
it's
clean up a bit?
brain job.
I was thinking the same.
She's got a bit of a hunch on it.
I am okay. I feel a little bad saying this, but like, I mean, it's interesting. Something clearly suspicious is going on, but like, I don't really see the benefit of us investigating it. I mean, like, you know, it doesn't seem like he was a bit of a loner. He didn't really have any relatives. No one's gonna really pay us for looking into it, and the guards have it, you know.
Well, the man kept trinkets about his house, and there was that map to the tower. Perhaps whoever killed him is looking for more treasure at the tower.
Well, I mean, that'd be interesting if that was the case. We just don't have much to go on, do we?
Rise's ears perk up, and she's like, "What tower are you talking about? Did you get any more information or anything?"
We just saw like a page of a book. Just for a second, it was in there. It looked a little bit ripped. Maybe it was what the culprit was looking for. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly get out my notebook and try to like sketch from memory like what I saw, like a quick glance, and show it to her, see if she recognizes it.
She's like, I don't see. Unfortunately, I don't think I've. Like, you saw a fragment of a page that was ripped out. So she's like, I don't really know anything about anything like that. But you hear Nana squawk in the back of the bar there by where she's found a table, and she just squawks out the Tower of Lost Souls.
Is that the same place from the story earlier, Nana?
And she says, no, child, sweet child. There's so many dangerous places in this world. She says the Tower of Lost Souls is a legend, though. But that's the only tower I know of nearby that a treasure hunter like him would be interested in.
Maybe that's the clue of somewhere to go we can visit. I'm hoping it's not these bandits that are involved. Like, don't really want to tussle with bandits.
What's the legend? What's the deal?
The legend is it has treasure beyond anything you've seen in your life. There's something so valuable there, you could live off it for the rest of your life.
Maybe
A beautiful gem. Oh, the size of your head.
You cannot eat a gem. That
My
does not
head?
make sense.
His head? Whose head specifically?
No one knows, unfortunately, because every single treasure hunter or thief to go to the Tower of Lost Souls has never returned. Most people have given up on it as a mirage or as a myth of the desert, but clearly someone has an interest in it. And she's she says there's other treasures there too that are well worth the trip if you can make it there and come back alive. But
Certainly not worth more than our lives.
Probably not. Unless there's, something we need to go to help settle things there.
she craws and like scratches her like bird chin under her beak a bit, and she's like, the only reason I know that someplace would be so dangerous and shrouded in myth was if it protected something very valuable or important.
Maybe we need to keep whatever is supposed to be there. Keep it there.
Why were you so quick to think that this is the Tower of Lost Souls that we're talking about? How did you know that this was that specific location?
She's also blind, so she didn't see that page either.
Yeah, well, that's also weird.
She says, call it an old woman's hunch.
Make an insight check on her.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you trying to
There's
see?
anything
Like, what
I
are
trust.
you trying to
It's
see
an
if she's
old woman's
lying
hunch.
or deceiving you or like tricking you?
Yeah, I want to
Like
know.
you're
If
looking
she's,
for like bad intent?
I kind of want to know if she's like bullshitting us or.
Yeah, just straight up if she's a liar, if she's just telling tall tales. She does that a lot for sure. You're gonna roll then. It's gonna definitely be let's do a wisdom insight check.
7.
I would have helped, but I just believe everything she says, despite being wise. So.
Aarakocra never lie.
You're not sure. You've heard her lie, but you know some of the stuff she said has been true as well. And you know that she has that like kind of old woman like feeling in her bones kind of thing about some stuff. So it's hard to say. You could definitely ask people you know for more details if you wanted. I know some of you have allies. You have connections with obviously the water bears here. You could ask other merchants or treasure collectors that you guys sell to sometimes. Definitely have other places you could explore if you want more information about this.
I mean, I could go to the circle, like the water bear druids, talk to them about this weird, funky tower of souls. Maybe they know something about it. Maybe, it's a sacred place that needs to be protected. Maybe, some clues there. I can go there and come back if I get any hot tips.
Rise is excited about it because she's like, if you guys found the treasure that is rumored to be there and were able to actually bring it back, like, people would really do something for our image here as an adventurer guild. It would put us on the map.
Is Rise a part of our guild?
She is. She's kind of like a rumor finder, and like she finds jobs for you and like posts them and stuff like that. Like she's kind of in charge of it, especially the administrative side.
Well, more prestige means better jobs. So that
Yeah,
that
I'm
could
sure
be-
you've noticed the help board is looking rather dusty lately. Unless you guys want to clear cobwebs out of a basement for another month, I might be worth looking into.
I mean, it can be fun clearing cobwebs if you're with your friends, right?
All right.
I glare at Well-Tide.
We'll take you to through the town to the just outside of the city gates is where the water shrine is in this town. Every town in this desert usually has a water shrine nearby. It's run by a group of druids that determine how much of it can be doled out to farmers and residents. Usually they're sources of elemental water that permeate the landscape. So kind of unnatural magical sources. Although sometimes they're natural springs and stuff as well. As you leave town, you can see it just outside the gate. It's a beautiful, like white clay building that has different faded teal and blue waves across it that get deeper the lower it goes. It's kind of squarish with a nice dome roof. Other than that, it's not very opulent or rich or ostentatious. It's quite simple in its construction, just beautiful and stark against the bright sky and the landscape. A little bit up on a hill. And the winding path leads you to its doors where outside, before you even enter it, you do see something odd. You recognize, and probably a few of you, a leader among the water bearers. In town, she goes by her name, Niavara. And she's talking with a stranger. This stranger is an orc who is... She's quite intimidating. She stands a good foot or two taller than Niavara, who is elven and already quite tall. The orc is dressed in ceremonial traditional robes, it looks like. She is carrying a gnarled staff out of a pale wood that she's found in the desert. And she's accompanied by 2 guards or travelers that are with her. And she's having a very aggressive conversation with Niavara, it looks like, as you approach.
I skip right over to them, like joyful little like saunter, and kind of just like interrupt the conversation. Like, Niavara, what's up?
She gives you a warm embrace, and she's like, "Well-Tide, thank you for joining us today. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit occupied at the moment." She introduces you to Omatu, the orc, and she says, "This is one of my disciples, Well-Tide." And Omatu gives you like a slight bow of a greeting. She's a very...
Like stretch out my like arms.
Oh
for,
yeah,
like, a
no,
hug.
you get nothing. She
No
gives you like a
hug?
stern bow, and she looks at Niavara, and she's like, "You should listen to what I told you, even if your town elders won't pay attention to this. It's very important that someone does, and if nothing's done, it will be devastating."
What is this?
She ignores your further questions and leaves Niavara standing at the threshold with the 4 of you.
Niavara, what's this about?
She sighs, welcomes you inside. Inside, the air is refreshing and cool. There's a mist that's so welcome on this like sweltering day. It's dimly lit with small magical lights here and there, and you can hear the trickling of water from a small fountain that's in the back that kind of like surges out and supplies everything. There's a pool. It's very nice. It's very like... There's some plants around too, some greenery. This is like literally a beautiful indoor oasis in this very hot climate and on this very hot day. She seats you on like a uncomfortable clay bench nearby, or like there's a little place to rest there. And she's like, the town council is had a meeting with some of the seers from the orcs, and it did not go well today apparently. So they came to me. But they're claiming that there's a concern about the water supply, and that we should be very worried that something's going to interrupt it or stop it in the near future. And they're having devastating visions about it, and the town council has called it superstition and chose to ignore their warnings so far.
Haven't we heard about this before? We've had some worry about Wellspring stuff going
She
on.
gives you a very like narrow glance and is like, kind of, I'm not sure there's anything to be worried about. Almost like that is like our business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can just check out what they're talking about. Maybe our orc friends will be happier if we humor them.
Perhaps. It's rare for them to travel this far to issue a warning and not send a messenger for someone to show up themselves. The city of Great Ashar is where the orcs is the largest orc city. It's quite a trip away through treacherous terrain to get here. So if they're doing this, I feel like it must be important.
Yeah. Did they mention that? Sorry. Did they mention like the specific locations that like we should be worried about?
They warned of an old myth they have, and it's about just the general deterioration of the environment. And they said that first there will be sandstorms and thunder and lightning, and then the water will dry up, and then there will be it will spread plague. It's an end of the world kind of thing they're doing. And she said they are warning that the signs are there, that the weather is getting worse, that the summers are longer, that the rain seasons are shorter, that the sandstorms in the desert are getting more frequent. And she's like, some people agree with that, some people don't. Some people think it just might be a change in the seasons and
That does
Climate
sound
change is real, man. It's real.
Yeah, that's their
Spooky.
argument, is that they're having visions that climate change will get worse, essentially.
Yeah, this seems really important to me. I'd want to figure out what's going on.
She sighs and she's like, well, Tide, you are so earnest in your want to help us all and solve the world's problems, but don't worry, we will think on this, and I will not take her warnings lightly. But you came to me for something today, and after all your service after all your help, and you were working harder than ever last week, what can I do for you?
So we actually had some questions about a tower, spooky ghost tower, the Tower of Souls or Lost Souls. Is that something you've heard of? Do you know if that's like a real place? There's talk of like something weird there that's guarded, and someone got killed earlier today and might have been related to that.
She says that she's heard of it. She's heard the myth that, no thief that goes there comes back, but the treasures there are worth risking your life for. Niavara is a couple hundred years old herself. Although she looks beautiful, her deep skin is unblemished still as an elf. Even a couple hundred years is nothing to them. She thinks on a little bit more, and she's like, there's so many countless ruins that have disappeared into the wilderness, that have been wrecked by either raiders or environmental problems, or just forgotten and fallen into abuse because we couldn't sustain them, or we've moved to different towns. She's like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's old ruins that have gone missing that still exist out there for sure that we haven't quite found. And she kind of thinks on a little more, and she motions to someone nearby to get something for her, and they return with a scroll, and it's a little bit of a map of the area. And she points to a location not too far away, a couple days travel. And she's like, there was definitely a temple here. And I remember it was known for having a prominent tower, and that was its draw, and that was its architectural feat at the time. It's I can't recall, or I may have never learned what god this was devoted to. But I know this area. Oh, I mean, it certainly wasn't a water shrine.
Okay.
But it could have fallen, she's that's the only thing that kind of rings a bell in this case. I know it's not much to go on, but maybe it's something.
It is something, and it's something we can look at for now, while we maybe figure out what to do next about these warnings. Maybe it's a clue to some of that. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Just if you're going, if you need to, there's a favor I have to ask as well. There's a small town on the way, and I've heard a rumor of a young mage, brash, reckless, who thinks he has some magical way to increase the output of our shrines.
Wow. That sounds really interesting.
He lives in the town of Tarosh, and it could be just, the ravings of a young magician that's excited about his powers. I know that the water bears there will not let him tamper or go near the water shrine. Obviously, it could devastate the supply.
Do we want to just maybe learn a little bit more of how he thinks he's going to do it, or do you want maybe to escort him back to us to talk about it?
Investigate it. See if this rumor has any truth to it. It could just be that. And if you feel like there is truth to this, perhaps encourage them to come here where they might have more success than they do in Tarosh, who depends on their water supply quite vitally and can't take any risks with it.
That's fair. Does this gentleman have a name?
She's like, I haven't heard anything else. I've just heard the rumors and the
young,
gossip.
brash, fun
Yeah.
mage
Yeah.
gentleman. Okay.
If you
Sounds
ask
like
in
a
the
friend.
town about it, I think he's like, you might be able to pick up some rumors at their local tavern or something like that. Or if you ask the water bearers there, they might know him.
So Intarash.
Yeah, in Tarosh, he's living there, and it's not far. It's on the way to where she's pointing on this map.
I mean, that seems like a pretty good stop to make on the way. We can, spend the night there, look for this mage fellow, talk about that, and then head over to the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the tower still stand?
I doubt it. It was a ruin hundreds of years ago. I assume it's still it. I assume it barely does, if so. There are a few things that can withstand the sandstorms and the ravages of time in the deserts. You know that the place that she's pointing to as well is... let me just see here. Okay. Yeah, it's not quite in. It's not in the vast empty sands you heard about earlier. To get to this place, it's across a large basin, which is just kind of like a valley. It's called High Top Basin, and it's just full of those rock formations that kind of rise into the air and have narrower parts and thicker parts and are bouncing on top of rocks and rocks. Anyways, very cool place. But anyway, it's a I don't know, it's a wilderness area. It's not particularly the worst place you can go, but commoners usually don't. And it's the quickest, it's one of the quicker ways you could get to Tarosh and to the tower beyond.
We can take that route over there.
So I don't know. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Yeah, you could leave tonight if you're in a hurry. You could settle up things in town and make sure, people know you're going on a little bit of trip and go the next morning.
I'd actually like to do a little bit more investigating. If we
Yeah,
can.
for
Is that
sure.
okay?
Absolutely, yeah. You have the rest of the day.
I want to go to any sort of antique dealer or someone that we would sell treasures to regularly. See if they know anything about this Pavlin character.
Ooh.
See if there's any legitimacy to whether he might have actually found something or whether we're just going to a ruin for no reason.
Absolutely. So you head to the markets of Valto's Crossing then. The marketplace is like a swarming sea of beautifully colored tents. This is where the heart of Valto's Crossing is. It's known for its trade. It's the biggest hub connecting all these small towns around it. Every color you can imagine is of striped and patterned hangings and overhangs are, just connected like an interwoven sea of its own. And underneath it, shaded beneath all of this, are just merchants with stalls, carpets with goods displayed. There is fresh meat and fruit and vegetables. There is home-baked goods. There's also any manner of stuff like fine jewelry and everything. One of the people that runs one of these shops kind of sells more traditional jewelry for people, but that they are keenly interested in antique objects as well. And you've more than once sold some of the treasures you've found for a fair price to earn a week's, to earn your living in this town. Their name is Frala. They shroud themselves in deep purple and gold robes to make themselves look rich and fancy, covering their hair with a hood and everything like that. What race are they? I'm going to say they're human. Middle-aged.
Okay.
And yeah, they're currently in the process of convincing a man that his partner needs a new necklace that's worth quite a bit of money. And he's like very hesitant and clearly doesn't want it, but she's very pushy with him. And that's when she sees you. And she's like kind of trying to do her work, but you see him being like, no, I'm good. And she's like,
I'm gonna go up and be like,
That necklace is real lovely.
you're going to try and get the sale?
yeah. I'm like,
You're gonna want it. It's gonna look great.
Okay, yeah, roll a charisma persuasion check for sure.
And we're all here right now? We're like all.
Yeah, you're all kind of coming up to this scene.
11 plus persuasion, charisma, so plus 1, so 12.
I think he's more startled by you than anything.
I'm gonna jump in on this as well.
Oh, you what?
I walk into the situation, making myself very, known, my presence very known, and I'm gonna just like stare intently at the necklace with my like big eagle eyes, and I'm gonna reach out a talon and say, "If you do not buy it, I will."
No, Tingle, no, don't try to. No, you can't afford that. It's too great. You can't have it. I'm trying to.
It's real beautiful. Wow.
Tingle, no, your spending habits have gone out of control.
I'm gonna let you help by rolling another d20, and we'll add the +1. Yeah. Oh,
All right.
okay. And he's like, really? I was gonna think about it for a while.
You don't have a while.
Yeah, Frala is like beaming, and she's like, "My items rarely last long here when they're this valuable and exquisite, sir. You might want to act on this while you can." And you see the confusion in his eyes. He's like, "Ah," and he goes for it and hands like a large or a small sack of coins to Frala, who counts them out and is like, "It was a pleasure doing business with you, sir." And like he walks on his way.
I stare at them as they leave, and then like the second they're out of the tent, probably can still hear us, but I don't know. I like turn back to her and I'm like, "You're welcome. That necklace was hideous."
Yeah. I would not want to buy that for my partner.
She smiles at you and she's like, "Ah, yes, but perception is everything in this business. It's not about whether it's actually good or not. It's about what you make them think." And she like winks at you and she gives you each a silver coin, which is not any small sum. Nice. You all get 1 silver. It's your cut of the profits. She's pleased with it. Yeah, she's like, "What brings you to my fine establishment today? I don't linger too long. I have more customers you're going to scare away."
Well, we were actually curious, so we were hanging out at the whatever the name of our bar is, the Alcove.
Wherever we're from.
Yeah, we were hanging out at the Alcove, and we noticed what happened to poor Pavlin. Were you familiar with him at all? Did you know the guy?
She sighs and she's like, "Oh, that old recluse." And she's like, "He has some neat, interesting treasures, but he never was willing to sell any to me." And she's like, "I always was like, happy with it. I can usually afford to pay a little bit more for this stuff because I have my own business. So usually I get what I want. But he snatched quite a few things out from under my nose before I even knew they were in town." And she's like, "I heard he's was found murdered today."
Yeah, that was it. We were kind of curious why it could have happened. Do you know what he was interested in?
Well, don't look at me.
No.
Yeah, he got a few treasures I wanted, but I probably would have stolen them if I had murdered him. And she's like, "I don't know if I didn't think he had many enemies. He kept so much to himself, and he wasn't a mean person. He wasn't a cruel person. He just was a little bit of a eccentric,
You mentioned he had some things you wanted.
Of course, there's a few jewels and gems over the years that I've seen go his way that haven't gone mine.
So
you know how
you're-
much I like those oddities.
So you're familiar with his possessions.
Maybe 1 or 2. I don't know his collection on catalog. Again, he doesn't sell.
I think I know what Tango's trying to ask here.
Well, then be upfront about it.
We want you to come to the house and see what's missing.
I'm afraid I don't know his collection well enough to be of much service there.
Would you know anything about a weird tower that he might have been interested in? And if he was interested in something like that, if there would probably be merit in it having something valuable?
I know he was obsessed with folklore, and you know me, I'm more of a practical person. I don't like to go, and follow these myths when they're not going to pay off in the long run. But I don't know. He also could be very prudent with his. And why do you ask? Did you talk to him about it? Did anything?
We found something that might suggest that he was interested in a place. Was he normally fruitful in the folklore that he was really into?
He believed a lot of crazy things. I mean, you've been talking to that old bird at your tavern too much. I mean, sometimes it just...
She's wise.
Yeah, I mean, she's wise sometimes, but, I have wisdom that actually makes me money and a living. So, who's to say?
We, Aarakocra, don't care for money. We have no use for it.
Well, then I'll take that silver coin back.
I can take the silver coin as well.
Yeah, of course. Share the wealth.
I toss the silver coin.
Look at what direction.
Back at her.
Can I try to catch it?
Yeah, you can have it. You can gain the silver. Yeah, I called you out, didn't I? So she's like, he was interested in it, or the people that murdered him were?
It seems like they were, but if they were interested in it and they discovered it from him, then maybe there's a connection.
She thinks for a moment. She's like, I'm not often one to buy into this kind of stuff, but if someone was murdered for it, I feel like that is a strong indication that there's something to be said about that. Someone was willing to kill for this information.
Okay.
Whether he gave them the information they needed, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that puts a little more truth into the matter, doesn't it? That makes it a little more likely.
That's a good point.
And I have to say, of all the myths I want to believe, the Tower of Lost Souls is a good one. I mean, there's money there. You promise you're coming to me first with whatever we find, right?
Well, do we ever go to anyone else?
Of course, you're too smart. You know what you're doing.
I mean, we could go to someone else, but I'm assuming that you're offering, some sort of incentive that we'd be keeping with you.
Oh, of course. I know you have a lot of mouths to feed. I'll pay premium price for whatever you have. I'm always fair. I'll always pay about 5% above the market. If it catches my eye. I mean, if you come back with a pile of sand, I'm not going to budge for it. You don't want to pull one over on me. I'm a bad enemy to have in this town.
That's only fair.
I put the sand I was holding back in my bag.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? This is an interesting endeavor. And she's like, yeah, if you guys can find some stuff back there, the treasures I hear, like, some of them I might not even be able to afford, but I guarantee you they'll help keep you fed.
Sounds more and more like we should go to this this tower and at least check it out.
Yes, it's worth a shot. Do you know why they call it the Tower of Lost Souls by chance?
I mean, I think it's because no one comes back.
Yeah, that part doesn't sound as good.
Well, be
Seems pretty
careful.
unoriginal. The naming.
I know.
Yeah, I thought maybe it would be ghosts or something, but I guess it's just people
No, people are
being
lost.
unsuccessful.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you can survive, maybe you'll be the first ones to know why it's called that. My only piece of advice, like I always say, sometimes the smallest treasures are the most valuable. So please don't look over anything too small there. Like sometimes those teeny gems are more important than the whole treasure chest.
What about sand?
I'm full for sand right now.
Do you have any trinkets that could help us on our quest?
It's gonna be like she pulls out an orb of time.
Oh no, we already got one of those.
We already know what time it is.
I said that would help us.
You already have the bad item that I
Yeah,
gave you.
the stream might not know how much we were making fun of the Orb of Time during our character creation.
That's very fair. What is it? Well, I'm.
The Orb of Time.
Please go ahead.
The Orb of Time is a wondrous item, though it's minor and common. While holding the orb, you can use an action to determine whether it is morning, afternoon, evening, or nighttime outside. This property only functions on the material plane.
It doesn't tell you exactly what time it is. It just tells you if it's morning, noon, or night. It's not even a good watch.
I have 2 orbs of time in my face.
Jeez.
Do they cost you an action?
No.
It costs an action.
I use my action to use my eyes.
Yo, we should give this to the blind woman.
It's not nice.
Anyways, she won't be able to see it.
Oh yeah. I know this really.
Oh god.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's cute. It's a trinket.
Sure.
It's very cool, Julian.
I rolled randomly for it. It's what you get. Just live with yourself.
Okay.
She doesn't have anything to give you really that will help you out there.
What kind of shop is this?
It's not a magic item shop. That doesn't really exist. She just keeps like little trinkets and totems and stuff. So yeah, she doesn't really have anything that you would use. It doesn't sell adventuring supplies or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, she's like, if you're heading out that way, just be careful. She does give you a little bit of a warning. She's like, I've heard there's she'll give you a heads up. There's some insects out there that walk on 2 legs and are quite aggressive. But I hear you can reason with them if you're smart. So she gives you a little warning that like many adventurers have fallen prey to the Thrycreen, which are a humanoid insect race that are kind of like hunters in the desert that do not speak any common tongue because they can't physically speak it. And many have fallen prey to them when they're out looking for a next meal.
How does
What
one?
do they speak?
As far as I've heard, they just chitter to themselves and they make little clicking noises with their pincers.
Oh yeah, I make that noise all the time too when I see like birds and stuff.
You make that noise when you see me.
Anyways, if you've got no other business, I've got cheap jewelry to sell.
Even if these insect people can't speak, do they understand common?
Like, if
Could
I
we
speak,
talk to them?
Yeah, if I speak in them to them in Druidic, would they understand that? Or
I'm not an insect
animals.
expert. I don't know. I'm just
I don't know,
telling
you
you.
warned
I'm
us
telling you the
about it.
rumors about town. I hear things. I'm a business person. I hear all kinds of stuff.
do you know what they eat?
No, people sometimes though. So be careful.
Well, because if maybe we had some rations that they would like, we can give.
I hope they're
Right.
tastier than you are. But I don't know.
I taste terrible.
I'm not a bug person, so I don't know what they like.
We do have a pretty good palette of different types of meat.
flavors.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like coming around her guy. She's like, yes, you're all delicious. Thank you. Get out. I have stuff to do.
It was nice seeing you again.
As
I
always.
accidentally knock over a bunch of shit on my way out. My wings are just really big and oh sorry, just knocking shit over.
Pushing you out.
Guy
Yeah.
with a backpack.
She's like, don't
Yeah,
forget,
yeah.
I love you.
I'm
Come
like-
back with treasure.
Yeah.
I try to give her a hug and kiss before we
Yeah,
go.
she's like really quick, almost like that, old auntie kind of thing. Like, yeah. It's all business, Frala's all business.
I like her.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
cool.
I'm so glad that this hard mode D&D adventure so far just social encounters.
We're gathering info.
I actually kind of like that.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to do this day?
How based off the map, how many days away is this temple?
You'll take 2 days to get to Tarash and most of another day to get to the temple, or to search for the tower.
Then I would return home and sort of gather stuff up and actually let my brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. How many do you have? Have we decided?
I have 8 brothers and sisters.
Oh, good.
Have fun with those names.
8 siblings.
Yes, yeah, all younger. Andrew's
Okay.
the oldest.
I'm gonna say Brady is the second oldest.
Brady.
And he is he can be a little bit of a troublemaker. He has not learned the hard way that you have, that mistakes can be quite devastating. He's always a bit too high spirited and causing a ruckus. But he is the oldest, and he will be in charge. And he's like, you don't gotta worry about it. We know you got work to do.
I sit him down. I'm like, Brady, this is serious. You are in charge. You got to make sure that the others don't mess around. I'm not joking.
Yeah, in the background, like one of your siblings is chasing another sibling, and they've got like a container full of like oats and grains, and are just dumping it and laughing on their other sibling, and the other sibling's like sitting on the floor with it raining down, and be like, ah!
No, stop that. They are small, and they can
and
be
Brady's
crushed by
like,
all
I
that
got
stuff.
this. It's fine. You see, we're business as usual. You see, they're not gonna go hungry.
Just to make sure that none of them eats one of the other ones. That's all I'm worried about.
Okay, that's fair.
Remember
I'll
that,
put out just enough food so they don't cannibalize each other.
well, it's the least I could ask for. Remember, Andrea takes out like her little. She's got these like chains with all these like little trinkets and things on it. But the most prominent one is a circular band, which is a symbol of the god Sekra. And she's like, remember that Sekra looks after this family. We gotta look after ourselves too. Okay. She grabs her backpack and sort of heads off.
Did you invite us in, or are we waiting outside?
No, this is me on my
assume
own.
this happens on
built
your
our
own.
own.
This is probably like the morning before you leave. Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
take you home with me.
We're just standing there watching this.
You're not welcome in most people's homes.
You're gonna knock everything over.
I can't help it.
Yeah, if you might have a home in town, I'm not sure, or you might stay in the alcove. They have some rooms upstairs and stuff that you get a reduced rate for.
I would stay with the water bearers.
Yeah, they have like places to stay there too. Yeah,
So I'd be like visiting all my
they're kind of like a monastery.
my water bearer siblings and elders, and telling them where I'm gonna go, and giving them all hugs and kisses goodbye. Like, I'll be back in a few days or more.
All right, yeah, they all give you a little blessing, a sign of, your tribe, and they send you on your way. Very happy too, very excited. Niavar is like, warns you to be careful, but trusts you. As like high spirited and exuberant as you are. But yeah.
Can I actually also
Yeah.
retroactively? I want to give Brady 3 gold to
Okay.
sort of help have food and stuff for everyone.
Emergency fund.
Yeah. And I sort of give him a very serious look. And I'm just like, don't spend this on yourself. This is for everyone.
He's
Don't
like,
do. I know you. I know what you do, but this is for everyone.
all right. He takes it seriously. Like, you can see he's like, ah, but he's like, yeah, his mind is racing with all the stuff he could buy, but he gets it. He knows you'll be mad as well. All right. Yeah, as you journey through the, you guys have your stuff. Is there anything else you want to get in town before you go? You have rations, you have water full, everything's good.
Yeah, I've got rations. I'm gonna change into my hide armor. Make sure I got my trusty staff with me, and make sure I also have my healer's kit with me.
I'm going to give you all, just from
my
like the
potion.
role-playing scenes we've done, a point of inspiration to start, if you like. I liked all your stuff. It was good.
so
Everyone take a point of
inspired.
inspiration. Yeah, we're going to set out into High Top Basin, which is a little bit of a dangerous but fun area.
I don't have rations written down on my sheet. Should I? Say
There's like
that
a
I'm
box
buying
for them,
them?
I think.
Okay.
There's like a water skin box and a rations box with 5 check
Yeah.
marks. You just cross them off as you use them. You can consider
Okay.
them full if they're empty
Cool.
if you like.
Awesome.
I like that.
I think my pack came with rations as
Yeah,
well.
you all just like definitely. Oh, did it come with extra ones?
Yeah, so what happens then? Because I saw that rations don't
Oh.
take up a space.
The 5 you can carry 5 without taking a space,
Okay.
and then extra, so you can take up another space to carry
Okay.
extra.
Because they're in
They
the
last.
backpack, yeah. they're in the
Yeah.
back, Okay.
The Badlands, the Olaran Badlands are, or sorry, no, we're in High Top Basin. The basin is filled with these totem-like, they're called hoodoos. They were like the rocks balancing on top of like spires and stuff. These vary in thickness. They're up to 50 feet high, and they cast these long shadows along the hills as the sun rises as you travel. And it's just like this area is very hilly. There's dried up rivers that kind of flood during the rainy seasons, and this all pours into different like rivers and stuff and drains out. There's like shrubs, there's occasional wildlife among the hills, but it's pretty barren. The rocks are like gigantic that are teetering up. They're held there by like, you know, residual earth magic and energy in the land here. It's not entirely all very natural, as if something's like giving them the power to balance and teeter that high up. Everything looks very precarious as you travel. If we're doing a bit of a travel, I'll get you to assign some roles, I think. Yeah, if you'd like. If you want, someone can try and forage for some goods. If you would like, someone will have to guide us to make sure we don't get lost and take up too much time. And then somebody will be a lookout, and I'll test their perception to see if they spot danger when it comes. And is that it? Forager, scout, lookout, guide. I just want to see what the scout does. Oh, the lookout's for night. So who wants to be a forager, who wants to be a guide, who wants to be a scout? That's the three, sorry, I need.
I was thinking I would scout.
Okay.
Yeah, go way up high. And
Yeah.
Yep. Anyone want to try their hand at foraging? You don't even have to try if you don't want to.
I can forage. I'm a druid, you know.
Yeah.
I have a proficiency, I think, with navigator's tools, but I don't know if that'll make me. We don't have navigator's tools, so.
You don't have any though, right?
Yeah. we
Okay,
don't
so
have
then
any, so
then they're
it
going to
won't make
be
me more useful.
quite useless. But yeah, do you want to still be our guide and see how we do?
Sure.
All right. So yeah. At dawn, you set out. The way this works is you all gain a thirst and a hunger. We have these on one of the second sheets, I think. You have a few survival elements, the third sheet, I guess, from this cool rule set. You should be at the okay levels of everything, but you gain one hunger and thirst as you set out. I'll have the guide to make a roll. You're going to do a wisdom survival check just to see how you lead us.
So is hunger and thirst, is that rations water skin? Or is
Next
it-
page? There it is. It's in the middle. I noticed so much. Right in the center of the page. Down. There you go.
It's over here. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's a little hidden.
So we go from quenched to refreshed.
You start at okay for everything.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't top off before
So we
we
go
left.
to.
You're starting at okay. Don't get crabby with
So
me.
we mark okay, or we go to peckish.
You're going to be going down one for thirst and hunger.
Okay, so we're peckish and parched.
Next, we're going to have the guide make a survival check with wisdom.
Okay.
Oh, and
we'll
who's
get
our
it.
forager?
You are.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll check at the end of the day to see how much you found.
Oh God, Lord, that's like a 3 because I have negative in wisdom.
What's the proficiency in navigation tools? Does that help us?
We don't have navigator's tools,
Oh.
but I have a proficiency in navigator's tools. If we had them.
Perfect. All right. You go along. The morning's pretty uneventful as you travel. At noon, you stop for a little small break, and you gain a fatigue because you've been traveling all morning.
So we go to tired.
Mm-hmm. And then let me check what you run into. In the afternoon, things might not go so well. All right, so who's our scout?
Me.
Why don't you do a wisdom perception check?
Oh. Oh God.
We haven't really defined our roles in the party yet.
No, we're just
We
testing
have
stuff
not
out. It's
figured
fun.
this
It's
out.
fun.
Rolling like.
What's your
10.
wisdom? Oh, you're not
Make
hitting
negative
it.
one.
You're not hitting
Yeah,
anything.
doesn't matter. I rolled a 5.
Yeah, as you're traveling, you don't quite catch them, but out from behind these like rocks and stuff, you see movement, and suddenly you see one of these insect creatures pop out from behind one of them. They stand about a foot taller than a normal human would. They've got pincers. They've got these dark, kind of metallic, shiny shells to them. They're holding they look like they got a ferocious bite on them. They're kind of like clicking their pincers at each other. One appears, another, until about 5 of them are coming around you here.
I'm flying scouting, by the way, not on the ground.
Yeah, you've like kind of they've been hiding behind these rocks and stuff, and as you fly over, you look down and you see your fellow party kind of like you see them pop out around them, and suddenly you're like,
okay.
oh my god, like you didn't catch it in time.
Yeah. Okay.
They're very stealthy.
Okay. I am doing something. I'm blowing my horn of silent alarm, my magic item.
They see them. No, they're just like they're kind of surrounded.
My
You, like,
party
didn't
sees them?
Yeah.
you didn't notice
Oh.
until we were already surrounded.
And then you're like looking ahead and you're trying to keep the coast clear, but then you go back and you're like, oh my god, they were hiding from me. I missed them. Like
I
they're
see.
very stealthy hiders.
Well then.
So we see them now. Can I talk to them?
Yeah, you can try to. So they look like they have like kind of savage claws, and they have these weapons on them that look like throwing blades, but they're like 3-pronged, kind of like a weird kind of boomerang disc thing, but there's like 3 blades on them that they kind of sort of recognize. Like they're very different than any ones you've seen, but you're pretty sure they're for throwing at people. Yeah, what do you do?
I kind of just give them like a very cheerful like, hello, and like I try and do it in I try in Druidic first just to see if like they respond to that.
Yeah, you don't see any real look of recognition in them. It's really hard to tell. These are very alien creatures. And one of them like clicks to another clicks to them, and then like one of them kind of darts a little bit closer to you and like just kind of hisses at you and stuff, and like looks to be still quite aggressive. It looks like they don't understand your language.
So I try and like common this time, like, hi, I'm well tied.
Are you still gonna try and use like common and stuff?
Yeah.
It's not working.
Not working.
None of this is going over well with them. What do the rest of you do?
Are we surrounded? Or
Well, are you landing? There's about 5 of them, so you could make a run for it still. It's pretty open. There's like some, they've come out from behind like rock pillars and like boulders and stuff like that. Like they've kind of like snuck up on you, but it's not something you couldn't just run from for sure. It's not like they have you in a circle that's super, super tight. There's only 5 of them.
I kind of do like gestures. I'm like, we're just passing through. Would you like a ration? And like go into my bag and I like
And offer one?
food. Yeah.
That seems to appease, like one of them like kind of motions for another to stop, and he like smells it, and he's like tentatively like goes to grab it if you let him.
Yeah.
He's happy that you as happy as you can tell with this like expressionless creature. But he kind of like clicks aggressively and is like and like points at your bags, and like definitely looks like they want much more than just one. Unfortunately.
Sure. I just give them like all my rations.
All your
Yeah.
rations?
Are you sure about that?
I can find more. It's
Sure
fine.
you want to do that?
Yeah.
They're like pointing at all of you. There are 5 of them, and they are hungry.
So how many rations do I have?
You all have like 5 each.
So I give them my like 5 rations so they each can have one to eat.
I mean, they could have more if they killed you.
They only know that we have like mine, so I just give them mine.
That's fair.
I'm just gonna shrug like,
Come here. I got nothing.
I'm still in the sky.
You're not landing to help your friends?
I'll help when it turns.
I'm doing
to-
like some charades.
Yeah, like if it needs, I'm watching intently. If I need to go down, I will. But at the moment, I'm not going to complicate the situation further. A big bird swooping out of the sky might just agitate them.
That's very fair. With actually a lot.
Yeah.
I'm holding up my shield and sort of have one hand on my spear, but I'm not quite pulling it out, but I'm looking around.
Yeah.
Real
Intense situation. Okay, make a. You know what? I'm gonna say make a charisma deception check.
Sure.
Because we'll see if you pull the wool over their eyes.
Okay, let's see.
Does food fall out of your bag as you shrug?
That is a 12, and it's deception?
Yeah.
Charisma, so I have proficiency in that, so...
Yay.
Plus 3 to that 12 then. Or, my proficiency is 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so plus 3 to that, so it's like a 15.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it seems to work. They seem to believe that you don't have more rations than this.
And
I'm
I
just
like
a
empty
small
my
cat.
ration bag. Like they see there's nothing left in it as I give them all.
All right, that's very kind of you. Although 2 or 3 of them look like they're still kind of aggressive and snapping at you a bit, one of them that seems to be the leader that you like took the rations from you, like clicks at them aggressively and tells them to stand off, and they kind of like come back behind him, and they like, you know, he splits up the rations, and they kind of like stare at you and go back to the rations, and they seem to be comfortable leaving you and to get on your way, for now.
Give him some finger guns.
I mean, you don't know if you'll see them later for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
So it seems like you got out of that scot-free with your careful use of resources. Do you want to make a wisdom survival check to see if you find food?
Sure.
It's
yeah.
not quite easy to find food here, but you might find something that makes up for a few rations.
Cool. So wisdom, survival.
Yeah.
Could I do a nature for it?
Nature's more for knowledge. It's like,
Okay.
do you know about things?
All right.
So this one would be more, their survival skill will cover like actually finding it and using your skills and practice.
Well, I got a +3 with wisdom. I think
Yeah,
I'll be
you're
okay. And 12.
Nothing here, unfortunately.
Nothing here.
There's
okay.
nothing to stay. So the rest of you seem okay with no hit points lost. I'm just gonna like go to the next day because I don't think we need a short rest or anything, obviously.
Oh, did we eat?
Yeah, at night. Oh yeah, sorry, we should keep going with that. So at night, at dusk, you gain another hunger, thirst, and fatigue.
Oh my god.
One of each.
Can
So you
we-
gain 2 per day.
Can we satiate it by?
Yeah,
eating
and
drinking?
then would you guys like to use? You can use some rations
Yeah.
and some water skins.
So I'll drink to get myself back up to 1 per point up.
Yep.
So I'll do 2.
So cross off some. You can give some rations to Well-Tide if anyone has any extra that they want to donate.
I will donate one to Well-Tide.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just mark like 1 pip
Yeah.
on each of them?
Exactly, if that's what you ate or drank.
Yeah, and that puts up those corresponding ones by 1?
Yep. So you'll still be at -1 then, because you go down
And
2 a day.
then fatigue, we'd go back to okay. 'Cause we took
Yeah,
a rest.
fatigue you'll gain 2 for having a good night's sleep. Nothing's gonna happen tonight.
We gain 2. Oh, I see. We go back to okay.
Good night's sleep. And then the next day, you kind of carry on your way. You're gonna wake up at dawn. As you get going in the morning, something else happens. Ooh. All right. As you're walking, you notice a few travelers that are, they don't have a pack or anything like that, or like I'm sorry, they don't have any animal or cart or anything. They're just on their own. They look like a couple bandits that are sitting by the side of a trail, sitting in the shade of one of the high rocks. They don't look particularly aggressive or anything, but like as you're getting closer, like one of them standing like grabs their blade and is kind of like eyeing you down. And is not happy to see you, and you can recognize the sashes of the ivory blades. These are some like wandering bandits that are usually out looking for someone to take from.
These are the same ivory blades who left
Yeah.
their insignia behind.
Exactly.
Our friend Pavlin.
Yeah, these look like 2 just like normal kind of thugs of that gang, so they might not know a ton, but yeah, one of them on closer inspection maybe looks injured. What do you do?
Are you okay? Like gesture.
The one standing kind of like gestures with their sword and is like, you know, drop your gold and like leave us on your way and like, and we'll spare your lives. But the other is like kind of like reaching up and like, don't be like, they know that they're not in position to threaten you because it's like 4v1 right now.
We don't have anything to give you, but we can maybe help your injured friend.
The other one's kind of silent and giving you like that strong silent treatment and eyeing you over and still has his weapon in hand as you approach. It doesn't make any moves on you. The other one, she's like on the ground a bit. You can tell she's like kind of wrapped up with some like bandages, a wound in her side. And she's like, we're just resting. I'll be ready to move soon. We just ran into some Thrycreen in the valley and they got the better of us before we could escape. And the other one just very like, he's like very like gruff and he's like, yeah, but we taught them a lesson before, you know, we like they won't be bothering us again, it looks like.
What were their numbers?
She said they only met like 3 of them.
How many did you kill?
The guy's like kind of like bragging. He's like, oh, I killed like 2 of them. She's like, you barely like maimed 2 of them. It's like, don't worry, they got away. It's fine. And he's like trying to be a braggart about it. I'm like, don't tell him. And he's like, you know, it's unwise to approach members of our gang out in the wild like this. Like, we could leave you for dead and take your belongings in an instant if we wanted to, and it's still being very threatening towards you.
Doesn't seem like your friend's in a place to do that right now.
We know you're dangerous, but if I don't like leaving anybody hurt unattended to, so we can help you.
Okay. I mean, like, she kind of calms him down, and she's like, we could use, like, we just have been without water for a little bit, but we're not far from a place I know we can find some, but we're, like, yeah, they're looking for, like, rations if you guys can spare. So if any combination of you can spare 2 water rations, they'll leave you alone.
I am offering just the injured one my water.
Okay. That's very fair.
Not the guy threatening us.
I offer them, like, I offer another water as well for, for whoever.
I do not offer any water.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't either. But I am going to offer to take a look at the Wounded One's issues and see if I can maybe help them out with some medical skills.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty standard, like, it looks like it's gonna heal, but if you wanted to use like a healing spell, or if you guys had use of like a healer's kit, you could expend it to help them out and gain favor with them if you wanted.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary, it will heal on its own. It doesn't look like it's going to like be fatal.
Okay, so I have an herbalism kit, is that?
No.
I have a healer's kit, though. How many uses do I
5.
get? 5?
But I mean, it's not like entirely necessary, like she has treated it and it will heal over time. It's not life-threatening injury.
Okay, now that we're up close to, I want to take a look at both of them to see if there's a torn off section of either their like sashes, and if either has a weapon that would like reasonably match the 3 stab wounds that I saw in the body.
I see. Yeah, you actually like their sashes are not torn by what you can tell. They take great pride in them, so like they wouldn't wear a torn one probably.
Okay.
But you see that they carry scimitars with them, and scimitars, and one of them has a crossbow, but they don't carry any small blades or anything. They don't have any daggers on them, as far as you can tell. I mean, you're not patting them down.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing that matches the murder victim.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
So I am going to just sort of use a little spell slot.
Use Goodberry.
Yeah. So I'm just casting 1 first level.
I believe that gives you
10, I think.
enough for 10 people.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I'm gonna like create it like in my satchel as I reach in, and I'm gonna reach out. How many of them are there?
There's just 2 of them.
Just 2. So I'm gonna reach out a couple and give them the good berries. And like, this has healing properties. It'll make you feel a little bit better. I did have a small question for you. Just wondering if you know of anyone in your crew or someone who might have a problem with your crew that might try and frame one of you for murder, that would have left a piece of your proud satchel there, like your sash, behind in a scene.
They look at each other, and the one that's wounded on the ground is like, she's like, if anyone would do that, it would be a grave mistake, because like we would take vengeance on them immediately.
And you haven't heard of an enemy that's been trying to...
She's like, we're the Ivory Blades. Everyone's our enemy. There's no one that doesn't want us dead, and we are stuck here surviving on our own.
It's very harsh conditions to survive in.
Yeah, they survive. They survive on their own outside of any town or village. So they find water on their own. They don't have like the water shrine to like provide constantly. So their small community is like definitely outsiders that have to live outside and collect people who are not welcome in towns.
So, just as a little bit of friendly advice then there, the town we just came from, it does look like someone set up a scene and left one of your sashes behind torn.
All right. They take note of it, and she'll definitely let someone above her know that someone's been like. She's like, I'm sure they've heard already, but whoever did this will pay for it for sure.
Just don't let them know it came from someone like me, the information.
You gave her water and food. She's like, yep, of course. All right. You guys arrive in the evening.
Wait. Before we leave,
Yes.
I want to tell them like that remark she made about like not being welcome in like town or whatever because like they're like outcasts and stuck like scavenging and all that. I tell her, take the sash off and start a new life. And then
For some people, it's the only life they know.
they can start a new one.
Yeah, no, the guy's not happy. He's like, you don't get to think you're better than us. He sees the arrogance.
I like.
I am.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
That is all right. You guys find the town of Tarash at midnight.
Actually,
around
as
nighttime.
once we are sort of
Yeah.
like away from
Oh, please, yeah.
Andrew goes up to Welltide, just sort of like as we're walking, be like, if you keep just giving things to people, I mean, people are just going to keep on taking it.
Everyone needs some help.
Okay,
And I'm
well,
okay to. I think if everyone was, a little bit more giving, we'd all be able to, get through this world a bit better together.
Well, it's a nice way to choose to look at things, I suppose.
Yeah. I also know that being in their position is really hard, and telling them that they shouldn't be there isn't really enough to help them out of it. But maybe if we can show them some kindness, it'll, help turn them later.
Andrew gives you a bit of a look like, do you know what it means to be in their position? But doesn't necessarily say anything.
Well, I've told you before. I grew up in the city streets and stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess we've all had hard times.
Oh. As you guys are continuing on your way and you're approaching the town of Tarash in the distance, you see someone running towards you on the path that's going to become a little more clear now. It's I don't know, a young man. He doesn't look like he's particularly well off or anything. Just looks like a worker, and he's running away from a couple of figures that are chasing him. Behind him, you see what look like these, like, I guess a couple of dogs. They're quite large though. They're very large. They have 2 heads each, and they are like pure black in color, and they are just running this man down as you get close. You recognize them as like kind of a creature that can be a little like tough to run. It's like they're not super common, but they're definitely a threat in the desert. And the locals call them death dogs. Monstrosities that rove the deserts looking for things to kill, sometimes getting brave enough to go near towns to find their next victim if they're very hungry. And the 2 of them are chasing this man down towards you. What do you do?
I'm going to blast the horn of silent alarm at the dogs.
What does it do? What's the rules for that item?
Oh, they have sensitive ears.
Do you choose who the target is? Like,
Yeah.
fry the creatures within. Okay, so do they have to like choose to hear you though?
One creature of your choice can hear the horns blare, provided the creature is within 600 feet and not defended. No other creature hears the sound coming from the horn. So I pick one of them. So I'll pick the one that's like closest to catching the guy.
Oh yeah, it like definitely lets out like a wounded kind of bark, like when dogs hear that loud noise, like both of its heads, and but it doesn't seem to slow it down too much. So it's still like the other one's still barreling past it, and that one's just like slightly slowed down. But it does like stops him for a second, so the guy gets some time to like run up to you. Okay. And as he gets to you, the dogs kind of like start circling.
Oh, can I also as the so. Where are the dogs in distance away from us?
I'm gonna say we'll start combat and they're about like 50 feet away from you.
Okay.
And then we'll roll for initiative and stuff. First, actually we'll do that right now. We'll roll for initiative. So remember we're using intelligence for this one, just to be fun.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, I got a natural 20.
Oh wow.
I got
Nice.
10.
So I think you have
So
the highest.
fast. Yeah, 20. Yeah.
So the way it's going to work, we're going to work with a bit of a system. If you're just, it's the first episode, I guess. So initiative in this game is going to start with the highest roll, and we're going to choose who goes next. Everyone who goes will get to choose the next actor, and if anyone takes damage, they can interrupt and jump in. So it's going to start with Andri. Andri, you get the first. This is pretty wide open. It's just a street. There's some like rocks and hill, like boulders on the side, and some shrubs and stuff like that. But they're coming right at you, and they're about 50 feet away. What do you want to do?
Yeah, can I don't know how serious to get with these guys.
I know, right? The guy in front of you is like 30 feet away, like coming towards you.
With like my knowledge of these dogs, do they seem like super big? There's only 2 of them too, right?
Yeah, but they're quite large.
They're quite large. Okay.
I mean, like, they pose a bit of a threat.
Yeah, this isn't the big. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my crossbow and take a shot at
Yeah,
one
for
of
sure.
the-
Let's roll an attack
one of these
roll.
Dogs. Yeah, the whatever one's closest. Boop. 13 plus for my crossbow. It's so 15.
A 15 hit? Yeah, how much damage were you doing?
Why don't I have? I thought I had that written down. I don't know how much damage a crossbow does. I feel like it's like a D.
Oh, no.
Maybe.
Yeah, which kind of crossbow is it?
Just a light crossbow.
It's D8, I think.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah, D8. And that's a 6 plus my dex, right? Which is 0, so 6.
Perfect.
Oh, wait, plus proficiency too. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, for the damage, it's just plus your dex.
Okay, yeah, so 6.
Perfect. So, yeah, you definitely, like, the way I like to do it is not every attack might wound it, but they always like get down their stamina and stuff. So you definitely cause it to stutter in its tracks and like just like, you know, like just brush past one of its legs and it kind of howls out in a bit of pain.
Can I shout at the guy, get behind us.
Next, okay, wait for them to interrupt, I think. Who do you want to go next?
Oh,
I think like
I want
who has something
more
to do?
ranged attackers, which I feel like is
Yeah,
I don't-
speak amongst yourselves. What's your plan? Because you can strategize a bit here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna cast my first spell, but it's gonna be just a cantrip, not a
All right.
full spell. Yeah, I'm just gonna fire a firebolt down from the sky at one of them.
Yeah, you're in
same-
the air still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that I messed around with the horn. So hopefully it's a little bit of an easier target.
Yep.
Oh, crit.
Sweet. So you get to roll double damage dice, which is good because you rolled a 1. And 10.
And 10. Sweet. Okay, so 11 plus. Do I add anything?
No. So yeah, your streak of fire, it's like kind of bursts in the dog's face, and it growls and snarls at you as well.
Sorry, Julie. I just remember we have rules for use of ammo, right? Should I roll anything for that?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're gonna roll your ammo dice.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
and
what-
the spell.
And I'm gonna roll a
Yeah,
spell
you're gonna roll
dice.
burnout. So you're gonna roll a d12,
So okay.
and let's see if you run
It's
out of
like
ammo.
this
It's a big hex
score.
roll.
Oh yeah.
or
Okay.
five
Yeah,
seconds.
there we go.
So you got 1 or 2.
5.
You're safe. Okay, Jace, you cast spell. Let's see if you suffer burnout.
What size do I roll?
D12.
The one that you thought was useless.
It is useless.
It's not useless now. We found a use for it. You're fine. Okay, you're safe. If they roll 1 or 2, they suffer some ammo loss or they suffer some magical burnout, which could be pretty crappy for them and blow up in their face. I'm going to say the dogs are going to go next because they're going to jump in and interrupt because you dealt so much damage to them.
Okay.
50 feet away. One of them's going to run up to Andri, and one of them's going to try and attack the bystander. +4. What's your AC for Andri?
15.
So yeah, the one comes right up to you, and it snarls and bites at you, but it manages to miss you with its ferocious bites. The other one, however, is definitely going to land a bite on the villager and kind of takes him down, and they fall with God's leg.
Like dead down?
No, just like wounded. But like he's a villager. He doesn't have much in him.
Yeah.
He's got his leg in a bind, and he kind of screams for help. next up,
The villager. He took damage.
he's not going to be doing much. He's in shock.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Kanaima because I know you have something good you want to do. And I don't like it.
It's gonna be it's too late. It's all right.
Oh, I have a question about
Yeah.
initiative. So it says I also add my charisma to it.
Oh.
Because I get this breakish.
Do you know
audacity.
what? We may have missed the opportunity for that because we already. It would be
Yeah.
deciding who's first. So
I mean, I wouldn't have been first
Okay.
anyway. I
Well-
would have gotten like 14 or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind then. The 20 still beats it.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? One is on Andri and one is on the bystander.
Well, I see that Andrew is doing okay at fending
Yeah.
them off, it seems. The bystander, not so much. So I'm going to run up to that dog and
You're gonna do melee with it.
scimitars. Yeah.
It is 50 feet away. They have
It
like
is?
a 50-foot speed, so they got here quite quickly. But I know you have something with the tabaxi where you can move. Double
Well, I thought they were
moves.
both. right us.
One of them's. I guess one of them's about 30 feet away. You could run there. It's the bystander did not make it to you before. you
Oh,
got taken
okay.
down.
Yeah, I could. Still
Yeah,
make
you can
it.
still run there. You're right.
Yeah, because if I use my feline agility, I could still.
Yeah, that's
dash
true.
out of there.
All right. What do you want to do? He is
so-
knocked down, and like he is not going to provide you with a flanking.
No,
for
I
your
I don't
attack.
think I get I don't think I get flanking.
That's no
anyway.
worries.
So yeah, I'm gonna attack with my. So can I attack? Because I have
Two scimitars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's roll both of them.
Okay, cool.
So we'll do. I guess like the.
First one.
Yeah.
That is a plus. I add dex and proficiency.
Yep.
So 5. So that's it's 12.
So first one hits, and scimitar d6.
Scimitar is a d6. Yeah.
Cool. And it's plus your dex.
Dex 5 plus 3. So that's 8.
All right. 8 damage.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad. And then the next one, we'll roll a d20 again. Oh yeah, that definitely hits.
Okay.
And another d6. This one is just the die because you're offhand, so you won't get a bonus to it.
Oh shoot! I should have rolled sneak attack for the first one.
You won't get it because you don't have advantage or anything or any flanking for
Fancy footwork. I don't need
Oh.
advantage.
Ooh, that's
it.
cool.
Oh, because you're a pirate.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
As long as you're like one-on-one, right?
Yeah. So I think don't need advantage for sneak attack if no creature other than the target is within 5 feet of you.
Does the
Yeah.
villager count as a creature?
Well, I'm gonna say it's pretty down, so I'm willing to give you sneak attack damage.
Yeah, okay.
'Cause
So
he's not-
should I roll? Sneak
um,
attack is what?
Yeah, we'll roll
Level
sneak attack damage as
3,
well.
it's
3d6.
2? Okay. So then I'll roll 2 more.
Let's see.
2 5s. So that
Ooh,
is
another
suddenly 10 more.
Very good.
And then the second attack hits, so
Yeah.
roll another d6. And you won't get sneak attack again, but...
Whoa.
All right, the offhand
That's
weapon
good.
gets no bonus to the
Okay.
damage. It just gets the 6, but still
Okay.
very good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
So yeah, you manage to get its attention off of the villager for sure. It lets go of its grip on him, and it's like kind of snarling. You're whipping around, dodging both of its heads at once as it tries to snarl at you, and you get to like one good solid hit on it and like get a good wound on its side, and it like howls out in pain. It's not doing well. And then Welltide's last person.
Yeah.
So
All
it's your
right.
turn. So that one is looking really bad. The one on Andrea is looking pretty good still.
Looking pretty good. Okay. Originally, I was going to try and entangle them, but they're kind of already close enough. So
It would have been very good.
It would have been good, yeah. So instead, I will cast a cantrip, Frostbite, on the one closest to Andri.
Perfect. It's an attack roll, I think, or a saving throw.
Saving throw, yeah.
What am I saving? Con?
Yeah.
I got 11, so I'm not going to beat it.
Yeah, because I think my
12?
spell save is either 12 or 16.
I know it's
or
higher than
something.
11.
Yeah, it's definitely higher than 11.
What am I taking?
So you are going to take 1d6 cold damage. So 3. And then the...
Disadvantage?
disadvantage on the next... Well, that was a bad... the next weapon attack roll.
No, I know it's weird. Fangs still count as like a weapon.
Oh,
attack
okay,
roll.
perfect.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
as long
sorry.
as it's not like, I guess, like magic. Is
Yeah,
the
that's
idea.
kind of thing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so disadvantage on the next attack.
Cool. All right. You get to choose who goes first for the next round then.
Cool.
Anyone have anything they want to do that's particularly cool? Any strategy here?
I mean, I want to yell out, sort of like, focus on the other one so we can concentrate.
On the one that's on the
Yeah. I'm like, finish that one off so we can focus on this one.
You can just pick Kanaima again. Well, you can pick Kanaima to go first and finish it off.
Yeah, Kanaima.
I'm doing really well.
All right.
I hope.
So you're gonna attack it again?
Yeah, 2 times again.
Let's see.
That is a 19.
Yep, that's gonna hit.
Sneak attack again.
Yeah, you are probably gonna just defeat this thing like crazy.
Where is
Cats are better than dogs.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you manage to fell it if that's your intent. It just like goes down and the red goes out of its eyes and it like snarls at you as you just stab it to that.
And I say,
Dogs drool.
Great, fantastic. Who do you want to go next?
So there's one on you right now.
That's the only one left, right?
Yeah,
Right?
it
Yeah.
might be best for Andrew to go maybe because then
Yeah,
you can help
so
fight
you
it
can.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna pick you.
Okay. I'm just gonna switch to my spear and just take a poke at it.
Yeah, of course.
That's a 1.
Oh my
Number
god.
over there is 1. So that's a hit.
That's a guaranteed miss, unfortunately.
Wait. I am lucky. So does that
You
mean
do reroll
I
it.
can reroll
What?
that?
Yeah, halfling luck.
Halflings are really great, guys.
You've used up your lucky, but you.
No, that's not.
Oh my gosh, you're not good at all.
The
at this.
unluckiest
This is
lucky
really
now.
awful.
Turns out I'm not as lucky as I thought.
So you
Not
try and
halfling
jab at
good.
it, but it's right in your face, and it's just growling with both heads. And as soon as you think you got one out of the way, the other's right there too on top of you, and it's just too hard to get a good hit on.
If it
this
had
thing.
one head, I would be fine.
I know, right?
two,
That
it's
would be
three
big.
right now.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
do any damage to it, so you can pick who goes next.
I mean, in the order, it's. Oh, well, actually,
There's
no order.
Yeah, you just
yeah.
choose.
Does anyone have anything that they?
I probably should have run over there because I finished the one off.
Oh yeah. Well,
Who knows? You may ran to this.
Yeah, okay, I can say that. That's fine. That's
Situation,
fine.
'cause I didn't move,
You've run
so-
over. You haven't used your
Yeah.
move for the turn, and you were in.
does anyone want to
risk.
recommend themselves as the person that?
I think I kind of want to try.
All right, let's
Okay, yeah, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna swoop down, like really intense, dramatic, like dive bomb kind of thing. And when I want to like land,
I'm ready.
I'm landing my feet on top of its back, and I'm just going to like grab with my talons and pick it up, and then start flying again. And I'm going to carry it up like 300 feet into the air.
I think what you're
You should
trying to
make a
do
s-
is grapple it.
Yeah, you gotta
so I want to
grapple.
grapple it and then fly back up.
All right, so you're gonna make a strength athletics check.
Okay. 19.
What's your strength though? Slash
Pretty
athletics.
good. +1, so 20.
You're definitely gonna be able to grab it,
Okay, sweet.
and like in your like claws too, which I think your hands are separate from your wings.
Yeah, I have arms with talons and then feet with
So you manage
talons.
to pick it up with your arms and feet, and then your wings are beating. You can only move like you've got it in your grip.
Yeah.
You storm down to get to it. I'm gonna say you can only get it about like 10 feet off the ground because it's pretty heavy for now on this turn.
Okay,
If you want to do
that's
anything
part
else.
1.
What's part 2?
There's a phase 2, but I'll wait till my next turn.
It'll gonna try and bite you while it's there.
It's got disadvantage.
It does.
And its heads are like,
Do you want the dog to
how's
go
it gonna
next
like
or well tied?
bite me on its back?
Does it have extra disadvantage from being grappled or no?
That was what I thought. Well, it would have both, but it just be once.
Just once,
because they
okay.
don't overlap.
Did my grappling deal any damage to it?
No.
Okay, then well tied because
Go for
I
it.
didn't give
Well
too
tied.
much.
What do you want to do?
I'll just frostbite it again.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to fail, so a d6 of damage.
All right. Sorry, doggy. Treat.
Not sorry.
All right, and it's going to try.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to get bit.
No.
Yeah, it's a 14 out of 15. I don't use the screen so you can see all of it.
God damn it.
You're going to take a bite as one of its heads bites into your arm that's grabbing it. It's going to be 5 piercing damage.
No.
And I'm going to need you to roll a con save.
What? Oh my god.
That thing is feral as shit. That is not a good con save.
7.
Okay, you gain a poison condition.
God damn it.
I believe you have a condition thing on your second sheet there, Jace.
yeah.
Or a third one, maybe? I don't know. One of your sheets has a bunch of conditions.
Flip your phone here.
So poison is you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. You are, for now, you know you're poisoned. Anyways, what is your plan with it? To raise it up and drop it on the ground?
Yeah. like you know those birds that eat turtles, how they'll like fly it up really high into the sky
All right,
and then drop it
this
so
is
that,
a turtle.
so that the
So I'm
shell will
gonna-
shatter and then they can eat
I'm going to
the
take you to go
delicious
next so I
innards.
get back on the ground and can do things with his dog.
Okay,
And fuck the rest of you up.
I'm going to dash and fly as high as I possibly can and just get as much.
I'd say your speed tab when you hold it, but like you get 60 feet in the air because you're dashing.
Okay.
So it's like it equals out.
Sure, yeah. All right, I mean, that's a pretty big drop still, like 70 feet or something. So, yeah, I'm going to go really, really high, and then I'm just going to let go.
5, 9, so that's 14. Plus 4 is 18. 19 damage for dropping this thing from the sky.
Do its legs break?
Oh my god! You know when you think a dog, like a small dog, is a cat, and you just let it go, and you think it's
God.
gonna land on its feet, but then it lands on like its side or its back, and it yelps really loud.
Yeah.
This is not a personal experience I've had at all. That happens, and it's really painful. It's 21. So
Like for you, carrying that around with you for the rest of your life.
yeah, exactly.
Just stays in your hurt.
Kanaima doesn't care.
I'm definitely going to. Well, let me see. Actually, no, I don't like that number. Oh, come on! I just want anything but 4.
Oh my god.
Oh my
There we go.
god.
Kanaima is attacking you with its 2 dog heads. It's limping over to you.
Sick.
And one of its legs look broken. It is looking really rough, but it's dealing. It's going to try and attack you twice. I know you have high AC or something though, or high HP. So we're going to be facing 12 and a 16.
The 16 hits.
Cool. Take 5 piercing damage,
Okay.
and then roll a con save
Con
to see if this brutalizes you.
8 plus Constitution.
Yeah. It's not going to be 4.
Yeah, no.
All right. You're also poisoned with disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. But it's only 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
Anyways, would you like to go next? Because you did take damage, so
Yes.
you have the right
I
to.
would.
You've earned your right to go next.
All right. Scimitars.
This is probably going to be 2 kills for Kanaima right off the bat.
That's a 13 plus.
that hits.
5. Yeah. So sneak attack.
Yeah, it's you alone.
It's me.
Rogues, right?
Yeah. 7.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, it goes down.
All right.
Poor
You
doggy.
suck! That's for biting me, asshole!
And I kick it in the teeth.
Shit!
The 2 hounds are definitely taken care of now. As you fly back down, you and Kanaima and this villager have all taken a bit of a wound and are feeling the effects of this kind of poison, making you a little woozy.
I need healing!
How's it been looking? Like how that off is?
So yeah, it's not anything that will deal damage now, but if you don't heal it, every 24 hours it has an effect on you.
Dogs' mouths are filthy! I don't care what anyone says!
It's technically a disease, so any like a greater restoration or seeing like a medic in town or something, or someone who can heal you a bit might take care of it. You can make checks for it.
I can do cure wounds, but that's about all I got.
Fortunately, it wouldn't do it for
Yeah,
this.
no, I know.
you need something
I was
actually
looking at that.
removes disease.
I have
Healer's kit or anything?
It'd be pretty hard. There might be someone in town that can help though.
herbalism
Herbalism.
kit. That's like,
Some kit is like to find herbs. It's not like an alchemy kit.
yeah, but can't you like find herbs and like make things that'll heal like
I think
poison?
you can eventually use it to make healing potions.
Yeah,
But that's
but
like
maybe like a local herb that can like treat poison or something.
Maybe together with the healing kit and the herbalism kit.
This is every time you play a character with an herbalism kit, you're like, why doesn't this do everything?
It doesn't do anything is my issue.
It's like all like, you know, like pruning shears and stuff. Like you can go into the wilderness and gather some stuff.
You can, like,
I would
press
like to
them.
gather something useful for this situation.
But like it doesn't like there's a step between what you want. There's like you gather ingredients and then like it can make a healing potion, which is pretty fucking cool. But like you can't. Or can it even make a healing potion? Is that not alchemist kit?
Maybe. I think I read something somewhere,
If you
but
need to
I'm
know
not a
about
reliable
plants, I'll
source.
give you advantage. But
God damn it.
I don't think you can just put a flower on this disease, dog, like rabies bite.
I'm thinking if we work together, maybe. I also have some good berries.
I just throw it out there. I have some good berries.
They're good. I'm just saying.
All right, I
Okay.
guess we'll find someone in town to help us with this.
But yeah, if you want to take a short rest to heal, like to kind of like I don't know, use
How
hit
far away
dice.
from the-
You're pretty close, like within like 10, 20 minutes walking distance. So
okay.
you're very close down.
In the meantime, we're gonna help this person up that.
Yeah, they've like passed out from pain.
Okay, so I'm gonna give both of you a couple good berries just to feel a bit better.
Can I cast like a cure wounds on the guy who?
It would help his HP, but honestly, save it.
Okay. Okay,
It's
dungeon
not a-
master.
What does good berry do for HP?
1 HP, and you are full for eating one of them.
Oh, cool.
Like it
For the
adds
day.
2?
Like it feeds you for the entire day, just eating one.
Okay. So I'm adding 2 to
So
my
go back.
status.
All right, and then gain 1 HP.
All right.
1 HP is all the difference sometimes.
Yeah.
Will a berry help this person that's fallen?
I don't think they can eat right now.
Okay. So we should just
passed
carry
out.
them to
Yeah,
town.
exactly.
Okay, let's carry them to town.
Can I, just to make sure that this, whoever we see about the poison knows what they're dealing with, I'm going to snap off one of the dog's, like, fangs that delivered the poison.
Oh.
Yeah.
With some of the saliva. Do you have a vial to keep that in?
Probably. I mean, I have this herbalism kit. It's got to be good for something.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that comes with some vials.
Yeah. All right. I'll use the herbalism kit to store
Yeah.
a fang and,
Let's just say
and some
so.
saliva or whatever.
Let's give it a use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well,
Let's make it not be completely useless.
Yeah.
look up
fun.
if you look up in Xanthar's Guide to Everything, you can look up it has like different uses that tells you exactly what it does.
Oh, that's
so if,
cool.
If you want to like it'll tell you like it'll give you advantage on checks to identify a plant maybe or something. So check it out and feel free to shove this in my face when I tell you it's useless.
I fucking will.
Sorry. So Jirash is a mining town. It's located kind of on like a large hill, like kind of like a rocky hill. There aren't a lot of mining towns that aren't located underground in the Crystal Dark that the dwarves control. This is one of the few. It's renowned for its for decently good work with smiths, the different smiths there. It's a noisy town. It's like immediately like it's very hot and soot covered and smoky. You hear the ringing of like anvils. You hear, you know, all the different like workshops and stuff. It's very like starkly decorated. It is definitely coming from like the colorful like markets of like Valto's Crossing and stuff. This is like a very somber, serious town for sure. It's a lot smaller as well. In a little bit off at the edge of town, you can see a water shrine, and it looks like it's in a little more disrepair than the one in Valto's Crossing you're used to. Like crumbling might be a way that you would describe it. And there's definitely like at the edge of town as well, next to on the mountainside, there's an entrance into the mines they have there. But yeah, as you're taking this person in, clearly people see you and are worried about you. And one person approached you out of like a crowd of a couple people. And she's like, stand back, I'll look at their wounds. And she's a human woman. She's wearing very light colored, like flowing kind of scarves and stuff and traveler's clothes. Her skin is very like, there's a little bit of burn to it from the sun. She looks like she's been definitely out and about. And she approaches you and looks at the wounds, and I'm assuming you're offering to show her the tooth and everything. Yeah, right away before names are exchanged, she's like, she tells you to come somewhere and she'll help you out with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And this gentleman as well.
Yeah, of course. Like that's who she's more worried about than anyone because he's like unconscious. She introduces herself. Her name is Silvara, and yeah, she looks at the wounds and stuff. She's trying to help you out. I'll let you both make a con save against it to see if it manages to heal.
With advantage because she's healing us?
No, I'm just gonna make it a lower DC. Con saves are really hard.
God. 9 then, yeah.
She isn't able to do anything for you right now. Like she puts a poultice on it and kind of wraps it, and she looks like she has like healer's tools on her, and she knows a bit about this. She seems very wise about this kind of stuff, and she tells you she like the kind of stings when she puts it on. She's like, it will take some time to take effect, and if it doesn't work, like we'll like come see me again, and I'll help you out. With the man, she kind of like gets him some water as he like comes back to it and helps her out, and he like puts a poultice on his leg as well, and she tells one of the villagers what he needs, like he'll need constant like watch, like keep him on bed rest for like 3 days, give him this ointment on like this time, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's what you need to do. If he's not feeling better, come to me right away. And yeah, she's helping you out. And she's like, that was a close call. Like, what brings you to this? Like it's dangerous to be adventuring out in the wilds like this sometimes without good reason. Like, what brings you to somewhere so far off as this?
We're actually looking for a mage gentleman that might be around this area. Somebody who's been doing lots of magic, has got some big ideas.
She kind of like she sighs a bit and she's like, I confess I'm a traveler myself, and I'm not familiar with the people of this town. Unfortunately, I'm just stopping by for a few days as well.
What brings you here?
She tells you that she's a healer, and she's considers herself a priest, and she was doing a pilgrimage. She usually travels around the different towns and to different sacred sites and stuff like that for her, and offers her services as a healer where she is as part of her like oath she has to her religion.
What's she a priest of?
She would give you definitely a god of like under the domain of like the fire gods, like the god of the sun is who she worships. It's why I don't know. She spent a lot of time just like kind of serving other people. It seems like she lives almost like a monk of sorts. Like she doesn't have very many material goods. She just lives an ascetic life, traveling from town to town where her god wills her.
Can make an insight check.
Yeah, for sure.
Telling the truth.
Andrew trusts no one.
I don't trust strangers.
Like another person who helps people.
I don't know. She didn't help me very much. I'm still poisoned.
15.
15.
killed two of those
it's
stupid
wisdom,
dogs.
right?
Nice.
Yeah. I got a
awesome.
+5. I'm very insightful.
Yeah, you're very insightful.
That's why I don't trust strangers.
Yeah, you don't have to call her on or anything, but you definitely do feel like there's something, there's something off about the story.
I squint at her.
You're not sure if it's all the story or just a small part of it, but something about it doesn't line up.
Maybe that's why she didn't heal us.
Yeah.
Well, she's trying. Just your bodies are dumb.
Trying
I'm just
real
Joshua.
hard.
But yeah, she says, I'm not sure about the villagers of this town, though. You'd have to ask other people. And like you can always go to the water bears here as well, and they might have a little more information on that. But yeah, she's like, I travel this area. I'm a little bit of an expert on like the local like wilderness and stuff like that. And she's like, I help protect people from its dangers and heal them and help different towns who don't have someone of my knowledge.
Have you seen any particular dangers nearby?
She's like, I'm surprised to hear of death dogs so nearby. They must be getting quite ravenous to actually come this close to civilization. Usually large cities like this to scare them away a bit, and they stick to lone travelers who are wandering. So it's kind of shocking to see them this close. Other than that, this town seems to be holding up okay for now. Although she does note that like the local storms and sandstorms seem to be getting worse and worse for travelers and stopping their progress more and more.
Where were you going to be heading to next?
She relaxes into a chair. She's taking you into like a local tavern, I guess. It's a lot smaller than the alcove. It's like just a few tables and chairs and stuff like that, and seems to be mostly somebody's home upstairs. But she knows them apparently and got them to get their bandages and stuff and help out. She sits down on one of the chairs and takes a swig of water from her water skin. And she's like, I'm not sure yet. She's like, I kind of just like stay in place or travel from place to place, and when my God wills that I leave or I get a message, then I follow it. But for right now, I was just planning on resting a few days here. It's been a harsh traveling alone in the wilderness.
Continue to squint.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to ask her before we investigate more?
Hey, I don't think this is working.
She gets you a cone, so you don't gnaw at it.
I don't think this is working.
Keep biting at it, it's not going to work.
This is not gonna help. I have thumbs. I can just take it off.
Great, fantastic, good point.
Have you seen? You said are we the only other wanderers you've seen as of late? It's just has anyone else been passing through this area?
She looks you up and down. She's like, no one like you. She's like, I can tell you're like adventurers. I can tell you're well armed, and I don't think you're bandits.
Well, more explorers, I guess you could say.
So there must be something worth exploring out here. She's like, I've seen the merchants and stuff in the usual caravans, but I haven't seen she's like, I did notice you as soon as you came in. You definitely look like outsiders.
Yeah, we're just here looking for this mage fella.
Well, she's like, I welcome you to, enjoy what little comforts this town has to offer. It can be quite cold sometimes. But if you do need anything else, I'll be leaving in a couple of days. But if I'm still here, please feel free to reach out. And of course, come back and I'll check on your wounds tomorrow.
So you don't know where you're going, but you're leaving in a couple days.
She notices the kind of sigil on your on your necklace too, and she's like, I don't always know the exact will of my God, but I know their patterns, and I get used to their guidance. And she's like, sometimes I just kind of get a feeling. And she kind of tries to meet you on that religious level.
I mean, Andrew's not quite Andrew's still got her sort of uppity look, but she,
no, for sure. I mean, you made the insight check. You're not sure what it is, but something about her story doesn't seem great to you. It could be just that she's you might get the feeling she's not actually religious. I mean, she doesn't really wear any religious looking stuff too. She's very aesthetic in her look, just her traveling robes and her scarves and stuff to keep the sun away. It looks like she's a very light traveler.
Who is your god?
Oh, we talked about this. She worships a god of the sun.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I want to pry more about that. I'm going to say the sun is just a star. There are many. I follow them all.
Do they know that in this age? How late did it take them to figure out that the sun was just another star?
Clearly, Tangle knows this.
I know this, yeah.
Clearly, Tangle's aware of this.
Tangle just makes stuff up about space sometimes.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually know what he's talking about.
He's a witch. Well, that's a bold statement to make. I think that people worship the sun as well. The sun is one of the lesser it's weird how the stars in the night sky is kind of under the domain of the air gods and the sky gods, but under the domain of the fire ones is the sun, who particularly rules more over day as the sky rules over night.
Okay.
So it's not abnormal.
Is there anywhere you would recommend to stay in this town?
She's like, there's no formal there's no formal inn or like hostel here. But perhaps if you, like, she notices your tattoos a bit, and she's like, the local water bearers often take in people they know or people they have an association with and provide some meager comforts. Or if you have friends or relatives here, usually you can ask around to see if anybody has extra room and is willing to let you stay for a few coins.
When she mentions friends, I like do something between a squawk and a laugh.
Because you don't have friends?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What are we?
No, I mean
Chopped liver.
in the sense of that there's no other of my kind here.
Oh, that's very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says it is rare to see an Aarakocra here out in the wild like this.
I'm sure the water bears would be happy to take you in.
All right. I can fend for myself though, if need be.
No, I'm sure they'll have space for all of us.
Dude, we're
Spend a
poisoned.
night.
Yes.
We've got
Don't be a
healers.
hero.
We've got healers there as well. I haven't been to this specific, temple, but I know the one in Valto's Cross, and we've got tons of healers there. So,
Yeah, who knows?
yeah.
All right. Like I said, the water shrine in this town is like crumbling and in disrepair. The brighter paints that you saw on the other one here are extremely faded in the harsh sun, and like the white walls have been kind of toned gray and brown from the smoke from all the smiths, and yeah, it's definitely not the nicest you've seen. Even inside, that cool, refreshing air you got when you walked in the last one is kind of not as evident here. Again, it's a lesser supply, they have a lesser need, but it's still quite meager and quite not doing well.
Once we're no longer in Silvara's
Yeah, of
presence,
course.
I'm just like, I don't trust her. Something's off with her story. I can tell.
Really?
Yes.
She just like to help people.
Well,
Something's off with her healing too.
Well, that's more evidence. Something just doesn't quite click right with me. I can tell. I was gonna suggest we do the opposite of whatever she said that we should do for staying in town, but then she actually gave us good advice.
Make
so.
less friends.
That's,
We have enough friends.
that's step
There's
one.
enough. Tangle doesn't have enough friends though.
Tangle,
Just said that.
Tangle, you make more friends. The rest of us will make less friends.
Yeah.
It'll even out.
We're gonna alienate people, and you make friends.
When you say make friends, is it nighttime?
No!
I check
Stop
the
looking up for stars!
I check the orb of time.
Yeah, consult the orb of time. It will tell you.
Yeah, what time does it look
Currently
like?
noon.
I look up at the sky.
Oh wow, it's
I
really
nod to myself.
It's so bright.
very bright out.
Yeah.
There's one star up there,
Oh.
as you said.
Yeah, it's true.
Anything else?
Let's go to the water.
Yeah, the water shrine. Like I
Water
said,
shrine.
is
Water shrine
crumbling.
time.
We'll
I
ask
heard
them
a
if they
story
know
about
anything.
Stars, that they're the kings of the past, and they go up there when they die.
That's correct. I can tell you many more things about them. I've kept track of all of it in this journal.
Ooh,
Wow.
tell me more.
Yeah, let's get into an aside about the stars and you make shit up.
All right. As we're walking, I'm going to be like flipping through pages of my book and like showing them to these three.
Wow.
And like on every page is like a different section of the sky.
I
And
don't
like,
think we need to wow.
Wow.
so that I have like all these constellations drawn out over all of them. And I'm like,
This one looks like a penis.
no, that is an Aarakocra. And I'm just gonna like
Aarakocra penis?
silence, groundling.
Why would you ever show her this?
It's a weird drawing.
Anyways, I keep flipping through them, and literally every single one is a bird. There are no other.
I feel like there's some bias.
These are beautiful.
Groundlings do not make it into the constellations. Only Aarakocra.
What if I like jumped really high?
Well, a noble attempt, but it would not work.
I can jump pretty high.
You don't have wings.
I could jump pretty high though.
What if you carried?
Yeah, what if you pick me up?
I mean, we saw what happened to that dog.
Oh, never mind. I don't want you to pick me up. It's
I
fine.
feel like that's gonna happen all the time. I set myself up for some shittiness there. Remind myself to have all your encounters with low ceilings.
No.
It's
fun.
desert world.
What thing are you gonna drop off this tower?
So much.
You get to the water shrine. They're definitely less formal and like reverent here as your former one. They're more casual. They seem to be more like, almost like the workers of the town. They're more like, I don't know, just people's people. They're more, I don't know. There's less of a difference between them and the citizens. They treat their kind of sacred duty like most people treat a job. The guy, sorry?
I was gonna say I definitely still go in for like a hug. and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
okay,
that.
I see.
I'm really overly dramatic and be like,
I need healing. I need healing.
Oh God.
Is there like
You're
foliage
just
here?
What do you mean?
Like the other place had like plants and stuff. And, like,
Much
decoration.
less. They have some like succulents and stuff that they've gotten from the desert, but it's harder to grow things with the smog and the smoke and
Oh, okay.
everything is a little less. You meet Joven, who is a water bearer here. He's an older human. He's got definitely like graying hair and a beard, and it is more like tattered, like older kind of robes. Not from like, I think he can't. Doesn't look like he can't afford them. Just like he looks like someone who doesn't care about his physical appearance. He's kind of disheveled. Looks like he's got more important things to do. And he greets you and invites you in, and is like, and is kind of like curious. He's like, we don't often get visitors from the other water shrines. What brings you to this one?
We're actually here on a little bit of a mission, looking for someone in particular, and some information, but also passing through a little bit, wondering if maybe we can stay here in the shrine with you.
Yeah, he like signals. He's like, he like looks at you for 4 people. He's like, the accommodations will be meager, but we have space for you if you like.
Oh,
We
meager
can
is
shelter
totally
you
fine.
from the elements and offer you what food we have to spare here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it will be like, here's a floor you can sleep on in your bedrolls, which is like kind of nice. But yeah, what information are you seeking? He looks like he's kind of like, I'm not sure what it would be that he has to do, but he's one of those people that always looks like he has something to get to.
Okay.
And kind of like always being like, hurry it up. So yeah, what information are you looking for?
So we've heard about, in Valto's Crossing anyway, that there's someone around here, bit of a ambitious mage fellow that's got some big ideas.
Oh yeah, like thumbs to forehead. He's just like, yep, of course. And he's like, he's like, I hope you're here to take care of this problem once and for all, and persuade him to stop his folly.
At least I want to hear him out, see what he's got to say, or where he's coming from. You know.
He warns. He's like, this. I warn you. This mage is young and full of ideas, and his experiments alone, as safe as he's tried to keep them, have already endangered our water supply enough. And I don't want anything tainted. This town runs on this water supply, and we're so far out that we can't simply use another town's shrine or anything. If he did anything to compromise the safety of this village, it would be unacceptable.
Totally fair. That's why we want to talk to him. Maybe find a different place for him to figure out some of his stuff.
I can be very persuasive when I am not dying of poison. I'm just putting that out there.
A couple of us got hurt by some nasty.
Have you tried prayer?
dogs.
No, I'm not very religious.
You're so mad that you failed that. Like, I gave you a chance. I was such an easy. It
I'm
was.
trying to get healed here.
I need you to know it was like a DC 10. Like, it
Oh,
was so
man.
easy. You just had to roll a 10.
It's not easy. It's just chance.
I know, but I'm just saying, don't be mad at me. I know whose fault this is. It's the dice. But yeah, he's actually quite happy. Let's start chuckling. He's like, if anyone can get that mage away from here, it would be, I would owe them a favor. He has been an awful like influence on this place, and he has stressed out to no end. Yeah.
Maybe if we can get him out of your hair a little bit, we might have some more questions about some other interesting things we're looking for just past the town. Maybe you might know a little bit about it.
Yeah, what are you looking for? I assume you tell him about the tower and the legend that you've heard and stuff like that. He warns you. He's like, the regions like west of here are quite dangerous, and not many people have much reason to go out this far. We're like the furthest west town I can think of, before the vast desert kind of swallows everything up. He's like, you wouldn't be the first to come to this town and ask for it, but you'd be the first in quite a long time. Rumor had, 100 years ago, many different adventurers would kind of come and disappear and never come back looking for that thing. And we assume they just get lost in the desert and die of dehydration or are attacked by a wild animal, or who knows, Anything can happen out there. He's like, I assumed just it didn't exist because so many people have gone out there. But he's like, I also, though, I don't leave my post very often. I am not a traveler. I've grown up in this town, and I've stayed in this town, and I've fulfilled my duties from a very young age.
Have you ever seen someone go in that direction and come back before?
Yeah. Like a human woman who wears long scarves and drapey clothing that travels from the various towns.
Is this a description of Silvara?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's...
And this person you've seen, they definitely went in the direction of this tower that we're talking about.
I mean, if it's there, I've seen her go out into the desert on pilgrimages and different, to commune with her God more earnestly, she says. She's dropped by here once or twice when we've had sick or wounded that need help, and she's been, for all I know, a good aid to them. But to go out into the desert alone is craziness to me, and how someone so frail looking survives out there is beyond me.
Suspicious, one might say.
How long has she been doing this for around here?
I mean, I'm not one to be suspicious of someone who heals our sick and wounded when we're most in need of that, right? It's hard to look that gift horse in the mouth. And he thinks about it, and
She is not a horse.
Accurate.
Tangle does not understand euphemism like that.
He says she's older than she looks, and she's been coming to this town for as long as he remembers.
She's human though, right? She's older than she looks, but
Yeah,
human.
because he's like, when I was a child, she would have been a bit younger, but still just like a young adult.
And she looks like a young adult still.
She looks like, I'm gonna say around 30, and he this is like she looks like the way he's talking, she might be 50. So she takes very good care of herself. But for someone so skilled with different medicines, I'm not surprised she's healthy.
Still sounds interesting. Thank you for all the information about her. Do you know anything else about her, or?
Honestly, no. She's been helpful to us when we've desperately needed it. But she keeps people at arm's length.
And she's never asked for anything in return before. She doesn't come in for place to stay, items, information.
She's never asked him for anything.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Something's fishy. What could
She's
it
not
be?
a fish either.
We're really crossing off the list of things she could potentially
Well, we don't know for sure what's going on.
We don't know for sure she's not a horse or a fish.
She could be
Horse
both.
fish.
Oh no!
She could be a seahorse.
She could be
Seen those.
anything. Yeah.
God,
Sounds
real.
majestic.
it's just a horse in the sea.
Is that what you're imagining?
Yeah.
Never seen a seahorse,
yeah.
and your only reference would be a horse trying to swim.
Yeah.
They're real. Yeah.
They're real?
Yeah.
Wow. It's like a horse that can breathe underwater and lives
Yeah,
in
it's
the sea.
exactly like how you're describing it.
There is nothing to misunderstand here.
Yeah,
I'd love to see a
exactly
seahorse one day.
like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're pretty magical.
What an amazing creature. We should go to the sea sometime. There's lots of water there. So
I get up my book and I start sketching like a horse, but it has like gills, and instead of like a hoof, it has like fins. But it's like
flippers.
Yeah, it's like flippers on a regular horse, and it has like giant gills along its big neck,
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
and its mane is like a frill.
Yeah, that's exactly what they look like.
Marvelous.
do they
Yeah.
ride them in the sea?
Do they what?
Ride seahorses in the
Yeah,
sea?
you could try.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That's incredible.
All
That's
right.
our aside.
This is important.
No, I'm happy we hashed it out. We need to figure it out.
So
Yeah.
we rest up.
I'm assuming, do you want to go and try and find that mage right away? What do you want to do?
Maybe
Because it's midday, right?
It's
So-
midday,
Yeah.
yeah. So we can look for the mage fellow if you two need to rest up, and maybe some of the healers here can help you out a bit.
Like, I don't know how.
Well,
how
I was gonna let you
long we'd
know.
have to wait before.
Yeah, I was
Try
gonna
that
say
again.
the next day I'll let you do another con save.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If that's cool.
All right.
It's not that it's not healing. It just means that it's sticking around and it's going to take a little longer to heal than it could have. You know, sometimes a cold takes a few extra days to go away. In this case, it's a deadly poison that will slowly sap the life out of you until you heal it.
Wonderful.
So
Great.
That's why I keep asking everyone else to heal me.
Yeah. This is important.
what are our like hunger and thirst levels like? Do we need to like eat or refresh?
Yeah, I was going to say you take another hunger, another thirst today.
Except for Tango and
Except the people that took a good berry.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
took it.
And another fatigue.
So
for noon.
if you want, I can give you a good berry as well.
Well, I mean, do they have food to just purchase around here?
Well, this will hold you up for the whole day.
Yeah, and that.
Well, I guess sure. Okay.
Yeah, it does. I mean, why not? You
yeah,
have it.
thank you.
Use the spell slot.
Are you feeding yourself and all this?
Yeah, I still have 2 berries left, even after all
So does
that.
this ups hunger and thirst, or
Just hunger.
Just hunger. Okay.
Just makes hunger okay.
So the water temple though that we're staying at, can we just like chug till our fill and then also
Yeah, I'd
fill our
say you could
water sacks
refill
and stuff?
thirst. You survived the travel. You could refill thirst and get your rations back.
So
for
are we
water.
like quenched for thirst or
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're like, how much water can I possibly drink? Sure, go to Quench. You
Whoa,
can sit here
we're at a
and-
water temple.
Yeah, you might
Well,
as well.
Drink our fill, right?
It's a benefit.
how bad off? Because they've talked a lot about the fact that they're like, well, this is our only
You can
source of
drink some water. It's more for like
Okay,
industry.
so we
and
can go up
stuff.
to quenched.
Yeah.
and can we refill our water skin rations?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I also refilled my extra water skin.
Nice.
all right.
And yeah, good berry's a good spell because like I used 1 spell slot and I still have 2 berries left.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I've
it's
just given them away.
I'm excited. I like the way this is working out with like the. It's kind of cool that you feel it like it's good, but it's still like detrimental because like you have to wait till a week-long rest to actually get your spell slots back. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
And Goodberry took us up to okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But at the same time throughout the day we would like you don't have to eat again based off good berry.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll cancel out for tonight. What
Well,
do you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enough nourishment to sustain a creature for a day. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to do next?
So do we have any other leads or points of interest besides the mage in this
He
town?
gives you the address of where he gives you the whereabouts of where the mage lives, and with his family, and that's the lead he'll give you for that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean that's the only one we've got, so let's go there.
All right. Yeah.
You wander down one of the side streets of this small town into like an area which, I mean, none of the houses look too crazy well off in this village, but you're down like a ramshackle kind of lane with this like in the city air, and the buildings are all kind of stained with the smoke and stuff, and the hammers of the forge in the craftsman district kind of fade behind you. And as you get there, you see that the house, and it's another house similar to what you saw in Valto's Crossing. The door is kind of like thrown open and just hanging open, and you hear a crash from within. and I assume you go over to look. When you look, you see someone. They look like a mage wearing a robe. Is standing there, and he's got a knife in one hand, and he looks at you, and he's like looking through this house's possessions and like different artifacts and stuff, like whatever stuff they have, and looking through some books that they have. And then he turns to you and sees you and like glares at you with the knife still in his hand. And it looks like you've caught an intruder in the midst.
So it's not the mage that we're looking for.
No, it's definitely someone a little older. It's actually, I say, looks more female than male for sure.
And a stabby dagger.
And a stabby serrated dagger that looks like it's kind
Maybe
of more
a
for,
3 chest wound stabby dagger.
who knows?
Do I recognize this
No,
person? Okay.
stranger to you and looks aggressive, and that's kind of where I want to call it. And say we will see what happens when you face them next episode.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. I love it.
Yeah, so I like doing this on stream. One thing I want to do real quick, just for like the story content and stuff like that, is stars and wishes. Was a star something you really liked in the story, or like something another player did, and a wish is something you want to see more of because you liked it so much? You cool to go around the table and do that?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Jace, you want to start? You're just on my left, that's why. I'm not prioritizing you.
If anyone else is ready, wants
Oh,
to
right,
go first.
John, how about we start with you?
I don't know.
Stars and
The
wishes.
thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
yeah.
be big, it can be small.
I really liked the. I don't know. I love like the story and like the banter. So like, I loved even just the like
The seahorse?
the seahorse thing. It was kind of
Sounds
like an
amazing.
aside, but I loved it. Like that was great.
Uh,
I also really like Tengil's constant like just being obtuse to everything. Like, but you're not a horse. Like that's.
She's not a horse.
Yeah, and yeah, no, there's actually just like a lot I really liked. I like Andrew being like so suspicious, and because Tide is just like always sees the good in everything, we'll just like look past so many things. So it's good that we actually have someone that's just like, oh wait, this is
This is a good cop,
suspicious.
bad cop
Yeah, yeah,
situation
yeah.
on this side of the table right here that I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy the dynamic already. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
too,
fun.
Yeah.
And I love the kicking the dog in the teeth after. That was fun. That was good.
All right, Josh, do you have anything?
Yeah, I actually really appreciate Julian, like how I like the steady sort of like forward momentum that you're like creating in this. Like, no, I mean I actually like I think it's kind of cool. Like I like that.
We got through a lot in a couple hours.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of that was like you're like steady sort of like pushing it, and like I felt free to like whenever I wanted to jump in, I like totally could, but then I was like also kind of happy to like ride it along. As it's going
More
on.
of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I love like everyone's like I love the like everyone's character feels like they've really come out sort of fully formed already, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
For like first session, you don't know how it's gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how the dynamic develops.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that as well.
I don't know if I'm doing stars and wishes right.
That's okay.
Just,
This is
give
like
me
I mean, just
compliments.
general stuff you like and want to see more of. I
Yeah.
guess it kind of blends into one.
Yeah, no, I really like the dynamic. Also, I feel like I still would have like my character still would have been knocking glasses off of tables in the like in like Valto's Crossing if you hadn't like pushed us to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Just do that all day.
Yeah, just doing it all day. I could do this all day. But yeah. I also really like the banter stuff. So I like getting into that with like characters because it gets like gives you more of a feel for like how everyone's like actually RPing their character. Yeah, so I like that. I want to do more of that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think of anything?
Yeah, I mean, now that we're all the way around here, like I've been like forming this in my head, and it's gonna sound a little cliche because it's almost the same as everyone else. But yeah, like I really love everyone's like delivery and like what they're doing with their characters already. Like these are all so fun. So yeah, big star to everyone. Wishes, yeah, more. I love the goofy moments or whatever where we can do shit like the seahorse and whatever other stuff like at the cafe at the beginning and all that kind of stuff. It's like a very nice juxtaposition to the like serious combats and whatever else.
Yeah, I agree with you all. That's great. I love these characters. I'm so excited. I'm so glad you brought like such great characters to the table. Like session 1, you're like, these are ready to go. I've got like personality. I think it's because we did character creation so early. It was like just let you like kind of ruminate a bit. Also, like shout out to Brianna who did our amazing character art that you can see on the
big
That
fucking
really
star,
helps.
big star right there.
It really helps when you have a visual for the characters, like especially even me as a DM. That was like so helpful, just knowing like I've seen them today, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I know I kind of have this idea a bit.
Yeah.
You know, even
Yeah, actually, I like not having to try and describe my character. That was just like nice. I could just skate right past that.
Yeah, you
Just
know
be
what?
like,
We all know what our characters look like.
That's
Stream knows what our
her.
characters look
That's
like. It's
them.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm honestly a little nervous now because like we've like dipped our toes like in the water with this session stuff, but like we haven't like. I know you've got like hard mode stuff prepared.
Yeah,
You know what? I kind of felt the first episode would probably be like setting up plot and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I know you are all very tentative to do anything too dangerous, so I'm really excited to do the next one where we actually like hit the ground running a bit more and go into like maybe an actual dungeon and like explore this like lost tower and stuff and the whole mystery of this and everything and find out like who Silvara is and like all this stuff's gonna come into fruition and who this like crazy knife lady is and.
I had no concept of how much time had elapsed, and I thought we were going to get to the tower today.
Yeah.
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 As far as I'm concerned, the knife lady is Silvara.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, of course. That's an interesting theory. I like all these conspiracy theories.
Yeah. I like even like my character's already like ruminating like what to do next in her head. Like, oh, we want to talk to Silvara. Maybe we'll be like super friendly and like buy Silvara a drink and be like, hey, take us with you where you're going next. That kind of stuff.
Lay on the charm.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Well timed.
It's not really a con with well timed. It's just like, oh no, I actually just want to get to know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, like this is a little bit in my head, but in other campaigns, I can tend to think of our characters like somewhat realistically, or like as they would be envisioned, and whatever amount of realism. But with the help of both like Brianna's art and also the way that we're playing it, it almost feels like this could be like a cartoon, and like a little more cartoony or whatever, because like it has that like fun lightness, but can also like get heavy and dark or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah.
I always like when D&D's like Avatar: Last Airbender has like good serious moments and good like battles and stuff.
Yeah.
But it has like really good funny moments and comedy and lighthearted stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like I Avatar is such a good example.
I love that mix for this too. I was kind of coming in hoping that we would get like that kind of vibe, and like everyone was just like
Especially
into
since
it.
it's like hard mode, it's kind of nice.
nice to-
like we're not all like
That's
everything
why-
is terrible.
That's why I love it. It's got to be like, it's got a contrast, right? The bright moments are brighter because the dark moments are darker.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks everyone for checking out the stream, whoever did. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like follow our channel and stuff like that. It actually, if you subscribe, I don't know, it inspires us. If you follow us on Twitch, you'll get updates every time we stream. Please check out everyone's social that has it posted on the stream because they're amazing artists and you can find us all there. Yeah? Okay. Feel free to like, subscribe, check us out. I hope you tune in next week. We'll be here again at 8 p.m. doing more of this, and you can see what happens next on this wonderful little adventure, The Heroes of Valto's Crossing. All right.
Also, massive shout out and big star to our producer Ben.
Yes,
Yeah, we love Ben.
Ben's very beautiful and talented.
Ben's
It's really a
amazing.
mix of everything. Anyways, thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next week, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Me.